how do you say, super damaged, because with the delay I lose, we usually lose the whole delay time. Okay. Was the Swamboos a must play? Which Swamboos? Ah, the Swamboos, yeah, of course. Ah, the Swamboos. Oh yeah, you're at the game, yeah. Okay, so the Swamboos. Of course, yeah. And the reason for that? Oh, where is it? That's the lore. Huh? Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. After that, he played Maligos and stuff. Okay, so the question has been, should we play the Swamboos or not? Okay, so the thing is also, what can you actually expect? And we have one silence here. So, but we have no burst, as you see. Yeah, we have the silence, but we have no burst. So what you see here on the board is like 5, 7, 11, 15, 18 damage after we play the Urs. So there is actually nothing he could do. Even if he plays Watcher, Taunt, we can simply silence one Watcher and kill the other one, and it will still be 6, 10, 13, 14, so it will still be enough, even if he plays double Watcher Taunt. So what actually happens here is, if he doesn't have Watcher and Shadow Flame, he loses. Full stop. He simply loses. There is no way he can prevent that. He could play, let's say, Healbot, but then it's 5, 7, 11, 15, 18, 20, 21. So yes, I mean, if he plays the Healbot here, but of course it's not good to play the Healbot, yeah. I mean, for obvious reasons. If he plays the Healbot, we simply attack with our Ooze the Healbot, bring him down to a perfect life count, which would be, if he next turn has like 7 mana, 8. So yeah, the perfect life count would be, yeah, the same again. But you get the point. So we could then, yeah, simply trade our worst, and then still decide whether to go for, but whatever. He won't play the Healbot here. It's actually pretty bad to play the Healbot here. So whatever he will do, like, I just want to make sure that I have the kill, because if you actually don't play the Urs and shapeshift his face to 13, I mean, of course this is still 15 damage, but what is, for example, if he plays Watcher Taunt, then suddenly you cannot kill him in a one shot. It's of uttermost importance that you can actually one shot him. Yeah, if you cannot one shot him, it's tremendously horrible, because then he can simply play Molten into Shadow Flame or something. You actually enable everything if you don't play this Ooze. I mean, just imagine, double Watcher Taunt. What do you do then? Yeah, I don't know either. And then, like, after you, let's say, hit with this D1, silence the other. Do you really silence the other if you cannot kill him next turn? And then you inflict what? 10 damage, so he goes to 3. And then you simply lose, because he simply plays Molten into Shadow Flame. Or do you just ignore his life count? You cannot do it either, because next turn he can then play Molten into Shadow Flame. I think not playing the Use is horrible. I mean, even if he plays, like, let's say, Watcher Taunt Dark Bomb, what then? You silence the Watcher, so that's then 4, 6, 11, 12 damage. He's at 13. So even if he plays Dark Bomb Watcher Taunt, you cannot one-shot kill him. If you cannot one-shot kill him, is basically the difference between losing and winning. Yeah. That would have been really, really bad not to play the Use. Some specs for that new Alienware. I just bought like the best which is available, so whatever the specs are. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so I see now like the 6th, 7th, 10th, 20th time, like why we didn't play the Armor Smith, yeah, or why we played him or whatever fuck, yeah. So the reason why I just ignored this question is because it's always the same, yeah. You have your games, you have very nice games, like really important decisions, really difficult decisions, really beautiful things, yeah. And then there is something like the Armor Smith. And I have no idea, no clue why this should be like, I mean, from the place I had yesterday, like, a lot of things were going through my mind, and a lot of places were like, and this, and this, and this, and this. But I can assure it was not about the Armor Smith, yeah? And then, I don't know, like, what's going on, but, like, it's really, I don't even know what to say about it, yeah? It seems like the lowest denominator, like what people see, which is, like, could be obviously bad, then it's getting posted, and then people ask about it, and it's just like, yeah, whatever, yeah. It's just like, I cannot even like describe it perfectly, yeah. I guess I will just review the games, yeah, because it's just so silly, yeah. It's like the artists which have like one song. Of course they have hundreds of songs, but they get like famous with one song, and then the crowd is always saying, yeah, please play this one song, please play this one song, yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah. What I'm saying is, oh, he played the Armor Smith, so stupid, yeah. If you see something like this and you think, the first thing which comes to your mind is, oh, that was super stupid, probably you're wrong, yeah. I mean, it can still be bad, it can still be the bad play, that's not what I'm saying. But if something is really obvious and somebody very, like, who's a good player didn't go for, like, did play something obviously bad, you can probably assume that there was something behind it, yeah. So, I'm just saying in general, yeah. It's not generally true, yeah, but so whatever. I go through the review, and perhaps the answers will also answer themselves, I guess. I mean, I'm not even saying this the Armor Smith's play was right, yeah, and that's not even what I'm saying. But I'm saying, well, I will come to that, yeah, I will come to that. But the funny thing is, like, the real misplay in the game, like, I really made the insanely huge blunder. I will also come to that, but this really huge blunder was actually playing a Battle Rage for too much. Yeah, that was the real blunder. That cost me the game. I mean, if anything cost me the game, that costed me the game. Yeah, but people were not even commenting on that. I mean, perhaps some in the chat or whatever. But like the real bad play, yeah, it even like simply like, yeah, whatever. I mean, of course, the commentators, like, they even said, like, I should have even drawn more cards, but that's a completely different story. Yeah. But yeah, I come to that. So, what is it? Can we now? Yeah, this stuff is a little bit slow in responding. But so Deathlord actually took the first game. Yeah. So you saw that. I think we made the right call going all in there. Really nothing else to be done. He had the answer. That's Hearthstone. You can only play your odds. Sometimes you suffer. And we directly jump into the first very important play we actually had. Well, if it actually actualizes. Until it actualizes, I think I can, yeah, probably take a look at the chat. Alright, so do we have here something besides that? Yeah, it should not be the internet. Perhaps I just set it here on high just so that it loads accordingly. Yeah. Perhaps it's Twitch being a little bit slow, but what I wanted, yeah, perhaps I can also then skip to turn 3. Turn 3 was actually the first important thing. Yeah, why? Here we go. So turn 4 for us, and a real big question here. Yeah. So it may not seem too big, but you have here the Wrath, you have the Piloted Shredder, Wrath, of course, Shapeshift, not attacking with the Shade. The other play is actually the Piloted Shredder, but then again, if you play the Piloted Shredder, do you attack or not? If you don't attack, you get quite vulnerable to Poison Blade Flurry, because what he can then pull off is he can actually play Poison, attack you for 3 for tempo advantage, a lot, and then he can actually Blade Flurry to kill the whatever comes out, plus the Shade, which is again insanely big value. Then we would be at 27, he attacks of course for 3, bring us to 24. He could even do stuff like what would be even a little bit nastier, for example, prep into Tinkertons, into Blade Flurry. It's actually the same, but we suffer more damage, so we would suffer then 6, going directly to 20, being actually forced to use the Wrath next turn then, having again an inactive turn. Then he builds up again, we play something, he eviscerates this, goes, okay, we lose tempo. It can be that if you play here the Piloted Shredder and he, for example, has like Poison Blade Flurry or Prep Tinkerton's Blade Flurry, that we fall so much behind in tempo that we could probably gonna lose. The thing is, we already played a Wild Growth, so we should be able to actually win the game if it only goes long enough, and we will be able to stabilize with our resources. Yeah. So Shredder, I mean, even something like Zap, like even something like, let's say Violet Teacher, Prep, Zap, attack phase. It's not that clear, that's what I'm saying. Like if you play the Shredder, there are a lot of things which could make it happen that you actually fall behind in value or in tempo. And with the Wrath, of course, the Wrath is not very mana efficient. Yeah. But on the other hand, every turn where you don't give him a target is also a good turn. So I actually decided to play the Wrath here, and I think it's acceptable. Oh yeah, and then there is only the other play. So the other play would be, for example, Piloted Shredder into Shade into that one. Is this better? So the Shade costs 3 mana as a standalone, as a 2/2. So as a 3/3 it would probably cost 4 mana, as much as this cost. But on the other hand, if you actually play the Wrath, we also get 2 more life through this, or 1 damage, 1 life. Whereas with the Shredder we wouldn't be able to do that. Also, if you would play the Shredder and attack this, we actually deliver him a target. Whereas if you only play the Wrath and play the Shapeshift, you don't deliver him a target. And not delivering him a target against Rogue is a pretty big thing, because Rogue is actually reactive. So if they can actually not target anything from your board, then yeah, it's good for you. Yeah. So I just skip the next turns. Till there's something which is, yeah, we can probably skip more. I mean, this game was not super interesting, right? I mean, it was like, of course, forcing him to do some stuff, of course, deshading like in time, so that we actually, like this deshade in time is very good, because there is a, yeah, there was actually a good possibility. Oh yeah, we deshaded him on the net Pagel. Yeah, of course we deshade him. Of course we unstates him on the net Pagel. Yeah, so that was also not. Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhat lagging, so I'm not. Let me see. Yeah, I'll take a look at the questions as long as it's a little bit lagging. Okay, so what he actually did is he I mean, as we see now, like the tempo advantage really brings us like in a position to win. So tempo advantage being like 1 mana more every turn, actually unstating the Shade. He had to take care of the Shade with a Zap, which is not the best use, of course. Against a 5 Shade it's a good use, but you get, like in general, it's not a good use. And we actually, I mean, if the quality is like this, I can probably also simply do 1000. All right, but sorry about that. I don't like it myself. So not much to be said about it. Like the 5/5 shade, like he removed it with the zap. Of course, the 5/5 shade, it's good value, but on the other hand, it really grew like 3 turns, so that was good for us. And of course, Dr. Boom is insane because Dr. Boom is basically unzappable if the opponent does have a lot of mana, because 1 Dr. Boom every turn, even if you spend your zap on it, it's not really appealing. And no matter what you play on it, anyways, it's also not really appealing whatsoever. So, for example, in this case, I mean, of course he has a very good blade flurry, that's not the question, but soaking up this 7 damage here, of course it's not really nice for him. And yeah, here of course the 4 into the face was pretty good, and here what you see, like, this is simply insane, right? I mean, if you actually get the opportunity to play as a Drake into swipe, it's basically GG, so I'm skipping again. So that turn we actually played double shade into shapeshift into attack, and that's obvious, simply because we wanted to prepare for this as a Drake into swipe next turn, and actually it worked perfectly out. So what he did is he actually spent another poison blade flurry to actually take care of our board, and yeah, we obviously end up with a very perfect answer, which is, yeah, I just took it again the game because it was just so insane, such an insane swipe. Yeah, so that was then the game for us. Of course we won that one. Then after that, so skipping to game 3, and game 3 was actually, yeah, Patron against Control Warrior. Him playing the Control Warrior on the bottom. Yeah, we could go through the whole game, but because it's already quite late for me, I will just skip that one. But as a general idea, it was getting the card draw on, and if you would go to play this Death Bite we just drew, I mean, you don't see it here, but if you play that, of course we attack because of Harrison, but the thing is, of course, we also play it because even if you would Harrison it, we still draw a lot of cards, and that's the most important thing against Control Warrior. So, yeah. The rest is, and actually, yeah, okay, so here you see the killing turn actually. Also, just to say something about that, I mean, for those who watch the match against Control Warrior is about getting card advantage. So no matter what you do, you should always aim and target to draw as many cards as possible. And this is actually what we exactly did. And in the end, we ended up with a Whirlwind effect from the Death Bite. We ended up with another Whirlwind effect from the hand, and with a third Whirlwind effect from our hand. And this is actually exactly what you target for, 3 Whirlwind effects. And with 3 Whirlwind effects, with Patron and Frozen Berserker, you should usually be able to finish. Of course, in this case he was at like 40 life or more than 40 life, but it should usually be enough. We could have even, I just counted to lethal and then executed the lethal because you don't have much time in these turns. As a matter of fact, we actually started 5 seconds after the turn started, and the execution of the entire turn, even without pausing anything, only the animations took through the entirety of the turn. So that was pretty insane. Of course, if you wouldn't have had enough damage, we could have also shield slammed 1 more to actually inflict even 3 more damage. But of course, if you already counted to lethal, it's not mandatory that you over lethal. Yeah, there is simply no necessity to do that. So we go to match 4. And match 4 is Handlock against Warrior. We talked a lot about this matchup in the past. I'm telling you, we are favorite with Handlock. And we are a good favorite with Handlock, because Handlock has all the big minions, all the big guys, and Warrior usually gets outvalued because you also draw these big guys faster, because you can tap and he cannot tap. So even if the amount of big guys and threats matches in both decks, well, I think Control Warrior has a little bit more. But even then, you get faster to your threats. So usually, if Control Warrior, if you're through your entire deck, Warrior usually still has like 8 or 9 cards in the deck, which means you simply outvalue him with threats. There's only, like, sometimes they can race you down, but this usually not a good idea because you have Moltens. And the only other thing would be if they somehow manage to draw a lot of cards and then they actually went to 6 cards, for example, then they can sometimes outvalue you. But usually it shouldn't happen. So if the match actually goes standard, then it actually looks as you see here. Yeah, warrior having 2 threats, you having like, or we having, yeah, we having like already like, let's say 2 threats on the board, but we still got like another 2 threats in the hand. So you simply outvalue him. So I don't want to comment on that more. Like we just played it how it should be played, and yeah, that's that. Now I take a look at the questions if there are any to that one. Oh, Thijs are asking about the recap of his games. Do you want a recap of your games? I do that. The watchers were already asking, so if you want. Oh, like Thomas says, yeah, I started counting 5 seconds. No, I didn't see the kill in 5 seconds. I calculated it before. I calculated it the turn before. And then I just went for it. Like, of course I cannot calculate that in 5 seconds. Yeah. So that was perhaps a little bit wrong from my explanation. I actually calculated it the turn before, and what? Maybe the games against Savage, the games against Wanderer are not needed. Okay, so should we make a review about Thijs games against Savages? Yeah, let's do that. So we do that after the review of like the matches against Maverick. So let's take a look at them. But I will be critical, Thijs. Yeah, I will just take say my opinion about the plays. No, how do you say? There will be no. That's probably falsch. Wrong. There will be no grace period. Yeah, okay, never mind. Despite being my teammate, there will be no grace period. Okay, but now to the matches against Maverick first. Or to the games against Maverick first. Beginning with a 0-0. Yeah, we just start mid-game, so yeah, I mean not much to be said, to be honest. Like Grim Patron Warrior tries to get the combo off and you try to prevent it, usually trying to prevent as much card draw as possible, because after you prevented the card draw, they should usually go dry. If they go dry and if you achieve that they actually don't do anything for, let's say, 1 turn, perhaps 2 turns, then you win. So if they don't do anything because they are screw, like they have too few cards in their hands, if they don't do anything for 2 turns, you definitely win usually. Yeah. So that's what we, yeah, I mean, it's not much to be said. We just try to deny the card draw, trading everything possible till the end. Oh, that actually was a really important one. So we had the chance to actually play Harrison or not. And that actually really depended on his last card, because if his last card, what I didn't want to see is Whirlwind. So if he Whirlwinds, then he can simply trade against Harrison and perhaps even play another weapon. So I thought, perhaps Harrison is not worth it. Even if he plays a Death Bite, he can simply kill Harrison. You get the point, yeah. So there were merits to actually keep Harrison, and there were merits to simply play him. Yeah, sure, yeah. I guess sometimes. I don't even know yet what was better. The next turn, by the way, there was something where we played Druid of the Claw into his guy, and that was definitely good. We could have played Harrison first, and we actually decided to play the 2-mana cycle first. I'm not sure, like, if we get actually Ragnaros through the cycling, probably we would like to play Ragnaros. But on the other hand, of course, if you play Harrison, we could also draw stuff like Swipe and so actually I think simply playing Harrison first would have been better, as a matter of fact. And here we have actually also an interesting decision where we actually went for the heal. And the reason is that he can never kill us next turn if we don't heal ourselves. But what he could actually do is he could, for example, Whirlwind Execute. And if he Whirlwind Execute, as you can see, if you don't heal that guy and he Whirlwind Executes, we have no board whatsoever. Yeah. Or if he Whirlwinds and Deathbite, we have no board whatsoever. Yeah. On the other hand, if we actually heal this guy, yes, exactly. After Whirlwind Execute and whatsoever, we still got a 4/3 on the board, which will still be able to pressure him a lot. Yeah. So actually, I think healing here is really, really superior to anything else. Yeah. Next game, it's the freeze game, and okay, perhaps I should say something like in general to this matchup, simply because I think it will be very interesting, especially for those like with high skill level, and usually the watchers of this stream in average have a very high skill level. So in this matchup, it's okay. There are guys who say you should raise the freeze mage, okay, and then there are guys, of course, who say you should fatigue the freeze mage. So raising the freeze mage, if it's not ultimately obvious, or of course if you have the kill and he doesn't have any secrets up, is usually a very, very bad idea. Like in general, yeah, please never do it. Like unless it's ultra obvious. Like of course if you have the kill, you should go for it. But otherwise, I think you're very, very much better off simply not going for these spewed turns where you simply overexpand, you run it against an ice block, and he simply clears your board. Plays another ice block. Or he clears the board and even plays another, like, heal board would be the worst, but like freeze heal board, then clear your turn next turn, or like even playing something like frost block, or what is it called, +8 armor, ice barrier. Even that, you cannot go through it because you don't have direct damage. Please don't do that. It's wrong to do that. Yeah. But here's the thing. So now we have like a lot of guys who are actually saying you should fatigue him. Please try to draw as few cards as possible. And then there are people who say, yeah, but you need like the super wombo combo. So you want to get double armor smith discounted into frozen berserker, super whirlwinds, a lot of armor, dreamland. And for that you should draw more cards. So what's the truth? Yeah. It's not the one or the other. That's the truth. The truth is it depends. Yeah. And what does it depend? I mean, there are a lot of people who say simply try to battle rage for 0. Yeah. Okay. So I think this will be also really helpful for your matchups against freeze mage. I don't think like I do freeze mage players here a favor, but because we are also not freeze mage players, I think I can go ahead. So usually it is like that. The freeze mage player actually doesn't have any ways to win unless, and we simply have to go through the unless options and then we know what to do. Okay, so the first unless is unless he plays minions and you cannot handle them, and that actually goes for all minions. If you don't handle Thorison, of course you lose, because he will get after 2 rounds of discount he will probably be able to net 20 damage more. This goes because he can play an Antonidos into 2 or 3 more fireballs if he has a double discount. Like in comparison to 1 discount, he can play, perhaps if he plays Malygos, it's plus 20 damage. Yeah, you get the point. So if Thorison survives on the board, not good, you lose. If Antonidos survives 1 turn, usually you lose. If Malygos survives 1 turn, usually you lose. Alexstrasza is fine if she survives one turn, but she should not survive. Okay. So what does this mean? It means you have to have the handles by the time the freeze mage plays his threats. Okay, now here's the good news. Yeah? The threats of the freeze mage players, despite them being 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, or 6, 7, 9 mana, they usually won't come in curve. And why is that? Number one, he won't play them, like he won't keep them in the mulligan. That's number one. Number two, and that's very important, the value of these cards increase throughout the matchup. Whereas Thaurissan doesn't do much turn 6 for the Freeze Mage player. It does much more and rather in the very end game, because he discounts essential and important cards. The same goes for Antonidas. The later you play him, the more value you get out of him. The same also for Malygos. The only exception is Alexstrasza. But by the time he plays Alex, you definitely have one handle for Alexstrasza. So what can we conclude about it? Yeah, we can conclude that you cannot like simply play your battle rages for 0 cards, because if he sees that you actually play battle rages for 0 cards, what he will do is he will actually play his threats. Yeah, because you won't have enough cards to actually handle with his threats. So for example, us as a Freeze Mage player, we have Thaurissan, Antonidas and let's say Malygos in their hand. As soon as we see he plays battle rages for 0, we probably go and play our threats and hope he cannot handle one of them. It nearly happens in that. It nearly happened in that game. Okay, now here's the thing. Once you're like relatively safe that you can actually answer his big threats, you should completely shut down to draw cards. Completely. Yeah. Just don't draw any cards. Like more cards than that. If you, let's say, yeah, for example, you already killed Thaurissan with your Deathbite, you have double execute in your hand, you should simply shut down drawing any cards. And that's it. That's the only like magic to this matchup. So what did actually happen? So what actually happened is exactly that. Like after this turn, he thought, okay, perhaps he can really outvalue us. So he first played Thaurissan, we handled Thaurissan, he then played Archmage Antonidas, only with double Fireball here. He only got that 2 Fireballs, so that's like 2 or 3 Fireballs, too few than he should usually get. Now we can actually kill that again. So now he actually played Thaurissan for a little bit less value than it should be. Then he played actually Antonidas and actually forfeited like 2 to 3 possible Fireballs, which is huge. And then he also threw like 7 damage on the face. So we're at 22, so Alex damage is also not that important, which means it's even worse. So now if you now can actually handle this and this, which we actually could, we should usually simply win. Okay, but I felt so much under pressure that I thought I need to draw some cards, which was, by the way, really not good. But like this is like where I now come to, like if you ask like why we actually lost that game, and it's actually exactly that turn. So here you see us with Armorsmith and Patron, and he played now his last threat, and it's really his last threat remaining. I don't see any doubt about going for the Armorsmith here, because we will, like, how we actually gonna handle Alexstrasza, of course, is Grim Patron into Whirlwind, so that's like 6, 7, 8 damage. And by the time doing that, we actually get 3 armor through the first Whirlwind, and then we get another 3 armor by attacking Alexstrasza. So we actually get 6 armor, bringing us to 21, which should usually like make us invulnerable against the burst he still got. So in this case, being 14, 20 damage, we would simply go out of any lethal range. Also, we will be able to tap every turn. So that's actually what we ought to do, what we should gonna do. So this is 5 mana, this is 7 mana. So yeah, hell, I mean, we should simply go for Armorsmith, Patron, and Armor Up. And that's it. Sending everything into that besides the Warsong. Armoring up. And then we got these 2 Battle Rages. And what will happen if you actually play, and I don't think the Warsong is 0 mana, by the way. I think the Warsong is 3 mana. But what will happen is if you play the Armorsmith and Patron, we would have been left with 2 Battle Rages and 1 Warsong. And because he pressured me at the beginning of the game so much, I thought, hey, only having 2 Battle Rages and 1 Warsong is probably not gonna do it. But then again, I was pretty stupid, because I mean, of course, I somehow was aware that all his threats were gone, but I didn't really concur like the implications. And this is now also a very, sorry about that. I completely skipped out a very, very big issue, sorry about that. So the very, very big issue, like from the number of cards, yeah. So we now conclude that we should always draw like a little bit more at the beginning, so that we are actually always able to handle all threats, yeah. But now I forgot to tell you about the second way Freeze Mage actually wins, yeah. And the second way Freeze Mage could squeeze a lucky win is if they actually wait till the mid-end game, and then they try to value their cards. So for example, they will try to get like let's say 10 bonus damage, perhaps 15 bonus damage out of Maligos. They will try to get 4, perhaps 5 fireballs out of Antonidas, and then trying to burst you down. And not only trying, but they will usually, like, if you draw like the cards of your deck, there's no way that this will ever be enough. And now comes the but, and it's a big but, yeah. It's only true if you actually utilize the cards in your library. If, for example, you still have 7 cards left and the Freeze Mage player went down to 2 cards, it will probably not be enough armor. So what you actually have to take care first priority is, do I have enough removal to actually handle the threats which probably gonna come within the next X turns? If not, please try to draw as many cards as possible until you get to the saturation point where you say, okay, now I am actually able to handle his threats. Yeah? And at this saturation point, please don't draw any more cards, but please draw at least the amount of cards so that he doesn't completely outdraw you, like, or outrace you. So what should never happen is Freeze Mage player has 2 cards in the library, you have 7 in the library, because this would mean that you didn't, by the turn he got like 0 cards in the library, he will usually lose anyways, yeah. But at that point you want to have, you would have liked to be able to use as much resources as possible. So which means, and this makes it really difficult, which means you should always take track of the cards in the library. And if the Freeze Mage player is deeper than you can simply draw cards. Let's say until you're like, let's say 2 cards, like always, as long as you have, let's say, 2 more cards in the library than he does. Yeah? And that's really important. So by not drawing at all, you don't get anywhere. Like if he uses all his draws and you don't draw any, or you don't utilize any, he will still be able to win, because he has more burst than you have heal if you don't draw a lot of your deck. Okay. So why is that important? Yeah, that's important, yeah, because like that's what you usually do, and it's only, and this is the only like way how it would matter. The only way how it would matter if he's out of threats at all. So if this is really his very, very last threat, and in this case, unfortunately, it was his very, very last threat. So in this case, we really could have shut down to draw cards. What we didn't, so yeah, I think I commented enough on that one, but we should have really gone for the armor. It's so bad not to go for it. But I was panicking probably a little bit. I was thinking these 3 cards are rubbish, are not good enough, but that was actually really bad. I mean, it's not that we didn't consider a little bit. I mean, that battle rage for 4 cards here is not possible, that was clear. Yeah. So in the end, I actually thought perhaps 3 cards is a good number. Yeah. But it wasn't. It simply wasn't, guys. We should have simply not battle rage at all, and probably next turn for 1. Yeah. So this battle rage for 3 here cost us the game. And there is not much more to say about it. And of course, if you draw the Shield Slam and this is his last threat, we definitely go for the Shield Slam. That's a no-brainer. But yeah, that was not really spot on. That's actually what lost us the game. Doing the battle rage for 3 instead of for 1. Super stupid. Yeah. Perhaps taking a short look at the chat, because it was quite a big explanation. Ah, a dinner. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Hey, what? Photos of ties? You kidding me? What are you talking? We all want to see the. Ah ha 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 ha. See? Okay, I see. Okay, no, that was a nice one, Kitty. Okay. Um. Yeah, I mean, it's Rachel, right? So I wouldn't blame Thais for it. It's a good taste. So da, da, da. All right. So yeah, I will do you a favor and skip to the important turn. Whereas it was not really about the armor. I mean, I can also tell you something about the armor smith if you want, but so actually I simply miscalculated. I thought like I would fatigue slower than I did, and that was also a result why I tried to draw more cards. But as it was, or as it has been, it was actually pretty bad to do so. Okay. Do we here already play Thorson, by the way? I mean, we can also take a look from here, I guess. So, yeah, also check what's. So we actually armor up and play Thorson. Yeah, simply because we now would overdraw otherwise. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards in their hand, and we really don't want to use any of these. Like, I mean, shield block would have been a possibility. Actually, perhaps we should have gone for the shield block. But again, like if you play shield block, we cannot play shield block and Thorson and armor up. So I'm not super concluded on that. I think he is like his card count is actually more important than ours. I'm not entirely concluded. But what happens here is we should definitely. Oh, by the way, we still got one execute. Actually, huh. Yeah, interesting. Huh. I think you should have executed. Inner Rage execute. I thought so much about killing him properly that I didn't want to use the Inner Rage, but yeah. I mean, he's out of threats, which means we can simply use the execute freely. So here's another thing, again, the common belief. So never spend executes on the Doomsayers. Never do that. And here again the unless he's out of threats. And I again forgot about him being out of threats. So I was reluctant to use the execute. But it's nonsense as hell. We should of course simply use the execute. We should simply like Inner Rage the Doomsayer and simply execute it. Yeah. The Thorson strikes again, but okay, Thorson discount after he discounted twice. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter whether Thorson discounted 10 times or twice in this case. We can play everything anyways. Yeah, that's not the issue. But the 5/5 is actually an issue. So what we can actually trade is we can actually play trade Inner Rage and execute against the 5/5, and that's actually definitely worth it. Because we have the 5/5 on the board, and he would then be forced to actually spend a fireball on Thorson. I mean, as we saw, he didn't really want to do that. But I mean, what is he gonna do anyways? Like, does he really want to play Blizzard first? I guess, but it doesn't bring him anywhere, right? So, of course, so we I'm not sure. So we had 1, so we execute that, we say pass. He probably plays, let's say, a Blizzard and thinks again, we armor up again, say pass, we are now out of cards. He plays them, perhaps first a Frost Nova. Yeah, but you get the point. At some point this has to hit that guy. And after that happened, we can actually, yeah, it should be good. It should be good to use the execute. So yeah, don't like the line here. Don't like that we didn't do that. Yeah, it's not Mr. Obvious. It's not ultra obvious. Yeah, but it's I think it's because we actually like would need to utilize one inner rage, and inner rage actually, I don't have to tell you, with like Warsong and Patron having inner rages, especially him being at 25, I think the inner rages could really serve a very nice purpose to bring him down to 1 later. So I'm not even sure whether we should. It's not about the execute, but I'm not sure whether we should not simply spend the inner rage on that, whether we should spend the inner rage on that one. I'm really not that sure whether it's worth it to use the inner rage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So the shield block shouldn't matter. Like, we are as much in fatigue as the shield block actually gives us life. I'm really not sure about the inner rage, because the like how we played, we actually have the ability to bring him to kill him actually by the time he actually arrives at the card count. Yeah. So to be able to make that happen, of course, we need he has still 3 cards, and of course, in order to make that happen, we first need him to have no cards in his deck. Yeah. So that's basically what we aim for. Yeah. We took just 1 fatigue damage, and of course what we know is, like, after he drew the deck, we know that he will still have like 1 Frostbolt, 1 Ice Lance and 1 Fireball. Yeah. This is simply due to what we know he already played. So what I'm saying is, what we have to try is, whenever he goes like dry on cards, we need to inflict 24 damage. Okay, and the question, and then he simply dies. And the question is, can we actually inflict 24 damage? And the answer is yes, it's possible. Yeah. How it is possible? It's possible in different ways. But one play, for example, would be Warsong, Patron, Ghoul, Inner Rage, Patron. Attack, so that's 9 damage. That's 9 damage. Then we do the whirlwind effects with the ghoul, like with slam on the ghoul, sacrificing the ghoul with a whirlwind. Yeah, you get the point, right? It's 9 plus 12 is 21, and then we can respawn 1 patron, it's 24. Okay, so now here about the armor smith. Yeah, so what happens here? So what actually happened is he yeah, I mean, we can just go to the end of his turn. So what actually happened is, perhaps I should go, yeah, is it worth it? So what you actually, I mean, I could also simply say in the end he killed us exactly. So that's actually like what the calculation has been. So what happens here is we are now in 20 fatigue. Yeah, perhaps this is the easiest to explain. So I calculated that if he like flame strike, a second flame strike, I actually was really surprised about the second flame strike. The reasons for that, because he already overslotted. He overslotted with Malygos. Yeah, so usually you don't see Freeze Mage, you usually see neither. You don't see double Flame Strike in Freeze Mage, and you don't see Malygos in Freeze Mage. So him overslotting the deck with Malygos meant for me that he needed to cut something. What I didn't expect is that he actually would add something which is not standard, if you want to call it so. Like, usually it's like that, like if you see something which is being added, there must be something be deducted, but what usually doesn't happen is that really somebody adds like 3 non-conservative cards. Especially not because Freeze Mage is pretty stable as it is. Like, the deck is really neat. There are not many tech slots, and if you actually play Malygos, usually there shouldn't be space for a second Flame Strike. But okay, never mind, there was the second Flame Strike. But what I'm saying is, if there is none, yeah, if there is none, the armor we get from the armor smith is exactly enough to survive this one more turn, in which we actually kill. Yeah. I mean, for those who saw the match, after he actually had this Flame Strike, it was exactly lethal. And if he doesn't have the Flame Strike, he needs to do something else about the armor smith, because otherwise we get a lot of armor, and this something else will cost him a lot of damage. Yeah? Obviously, yeah? So usually, like a Flame Strike, obviously it's Flame Strike and we get 1 armor, but whatever else he does, we usually prevent much more life. So we sometimes prevent, if he plays a Fireball on it, we prevent 6 more life and getting 1 armor. And if he plays Frost Nova, we don't get immediate armor, but it also doesn't really matter. Yeah, you get the point in general. Yeah. So which means if he doesn't have the second Flame Strike, we simply win. Okay. Now people could say, yeah, but why didn't you get shitloads of armor? Yeah, because if you get shitloads of armor, yeah, then we probably could there's a good possibility that we could also simply lose. Yeah. And now you could ask, yeah, how's that? Yeah, how's that? Yeah. It is because, like, if we also combine with the Armor Smith, there is a good chance that we cannot bring him to 1. If we don't bring him to 1, he can Flame Strike our board or Thanos Blizzard our board. And then we simply lose our complete board. So now you could say, yeah, but for that we got like perhaps 20 armor. Yeah, but 20 armor being in 4 fatigue damage actually buys us 5. Plus 6 is 11, plus 7 is 18, plus 8 is 26. So that's 4 turns. We armor up 4 times, but he also shoots us 4 times. So 20 armor would buy us 4 more card draws. Okay, now you could argue, yeah, with 4 more card draws, he could also fatigue if you, for example, bring him to 3 or something. But then again, it's at least as likely that he plays a heal bot that he plays a second Flame Strike, in my opinion, for him. So if you simply go for the Armor Smith, you usually simply lose against a heal bot. And if you go for the play we went, you basically only lose against Flame Strike. Yeah. So yeah, but whatever. So the real misplay or the real mistake was not that. Like, that was absolutely okay and doable. I mean, I think in the end, in the very, very end, I conclude that there could be a way to actually deal 24 damage and play the Armor Smith. But that much I couldn't see during the match. So if I would have seen that, I would have gone for that. But yeah, it's a very, very complicated to actually play the Armor Smith and to be able to deal this 24 damage. So there was simply not enough time to consider that. Of course, like, if possible to deal 24 damage and playing the Armor Smith, you should rather go for that. But okay, so that's actually that. So if you don't see a way to deal 24 damage and getting like a lot of armor with the Armor Smith, a lot says like over 15, which I simply didn't see at that time point. It's superior to simply go for the Armor Smith if you know that if he doesn't have the second Flame Strike, you simply win. And if he actually, yeah, does have a second Flame Strike, bad for you. No. But again, everything was not needed if you would have simply not gone for this battle rage. So that was actually the real bad thing. Yeah. The Armor Smith is not bad, the blank Armor Smith. Why not? The blank Armor Smith soaks up so much damage, yeah. It's really good. What Robinette says, I assume that he didn't have second two Flame Strike, and another play would have been bad against second Flame Strike. Yeah, you're one of the cleverer guys out there, right? Okay, so if you actually go for the play which actually floods the board with a lot of stuff, against the second flame strike, what I was saying is it also loses against the second flame strike, but it also loses against Tylnos into Blizzard, yeah, which he 100% will have. So you actually give him more options to actually go back, come back. So it's Tylnos into Blizzard, it's at least what he will have. Yeah. So other than that, he can play Healbot and Frost Nova and deliver a blow against what you did. What I'm simply saying is the one play actually loses against like so the one play with playing the Armor Smith like blank loses against the second Flame Strike, whereas the other play loses against a second Flame Strike, also against other stuff too. So for example, against Healbot in combination with whatever. Then you definitely lose against a blank Flame Strike. I didn't calculate that, yeah, but you get the point, yeah. So as I said, I'm not 100%. I mean, after a thorough analysis, I came to the conclusion that we actually can deliver 24 damage and play the Armor Smith. But that was after taking a look at this for like 10 minutes. So sometimes in the match you have to do your decisions concluding on the best play you see. Yeah, of course, if you see how to play the Armor Smith and deal 24 damage, I give like kudos to you. But not, yeah, it's a game of limited resources, time being one of them. And if you don't see it, you can only act to your best knowledge. Okay. Even with Armor Smith you could play, are you saying the spot it took on your board wouldn't allow you to 17 damage? No, you need 24, as I said. And he needed 2 damage cards discounted. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, even that. Yeah, it's true. Now, the only thing I wanted to make clear is like from an ultra horrible play to an insanely borderline play, it's really sometimes very close to that, right? So I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous to call this like a clear-cut super blunder or something like that. It really doesn't, like everybody who would say that is really not, let's say, how to put it. It's difficult to assign these people deep thoughts in Hearthstone because it's not super clear at all. Like, depending on really small factors, this is the play or not. Yeah. But I am also quitting with this play here. Like, I think now we will go into fatigue a lot. So that's, yeah. I mean, this is the explanation. You can do whatever you want with it. If you don't agree, I mean, you don't. I don't force anybody to agree. Yeah, it's like you just go ahead and think what you think, but perhaps these like were inspirations to like Denkanstöße, to give you like a push to think in a different direction. Armor Smiths are not only there to always whirlwind, but depending on what happens in this matchup, you actually change up your game plan. Yeah, and I mean, I basically did like a full review against Freeze Mage, right? So by the time now, you should be able to tell what to do with Patron against Freeze Mage. Okay, so this matchup was simply Patron Warrior against Patron Warrior. Yeah, stupid as always, I could say, but no, in all seriousness, there was one turn where we could have actually gone for the combo, and that was actually here this turn, and I actually think I messed it up, to be honest. Like, but it was not entirely clear. Yeah, so what you see here is like we can actually play Warsong into Grim Patron, And I was thinking, and of course into double inner rage. And what I was thinking, if we only wait one more turn, we can actually play Warsong, Patron, double inner rage, inner rage and battle rage. Or we could, let's say, play Warsong into into Patron double blah and Acolyte sending it against his forces and getting like a board full of patrons, the dream. And we can back it up with a shield slam. So these were my dreams. And also I would have definitely gone for it if I wouldn't have had any other drops. But here, of course, we also have the 4 mana drop already, combined with an armor up or whatever. But in all seriousness, I think we should simply go for it. I think it's difficult. I really think it's very difficult to say. But I think if you go for it, it means Warsong into Patron, and we have a double inner rage, which means like 13 damage. So, of course, we kill this guy with like and getting 2/3/1s. Yeah, but that's another story. So we have like 13 damage, and with 13 damage, he goes already at 9. Yeah, and he has like against him 1/1, 1/1, 2/2/3. Yeah, 1/1, 2/2/3. So what would he really need? Like he doesn't. This is not a whirlwind weapon. This is a Fury Warx. So to kill 1/1, 2/2/3, he would need, and now comes, he would need 2 executes and whirlwind. And even then, our Warsong would still be alive. So we have Warsong 1/1, 2/2/3 if we go for that play, and that's too good. Like even if we got execute, whirlwind, even then we still stand with the Warsong on board. Not that I'm not saying like, of course we would have like used this, and this. So yeah, then it would have been difficult because of course we would have still had a shield slam, but the ghoul isn't doing much. Battle rage is only for 1, so we would have then needed to activate the gnome, perhaps getting like other cards. But this is only if he got double execute. If he doesn't have double executes, it's a walk in the ballpark. We just play it and we have like commander 1/1, 2/3 without him having like played the emperor. He's at 19. If he after he hit with the weapon, he will be at 16. Usually we can expect that he doesn't have double execute, then usually we have still 9 damage on the board. 9 damage on the board will bring him down to 7. We will be able to battle rage. Yeah, we should have gone for it that turn. So fortunately we won that game in the end, but we should have gone for it. It's not super clear, because if he can handle everything, it's better. It would have been better to wait one more turn. But on the other hand, he can simply make like a patron turn himself now. And if he actually gonna go ahead and play like a patron turn himself, we will be the ones with the problems. Yeah. So let's say he produces, let's say 4 patrons. We will be able to clear, of course, 1 with. Here it already gets difficult, right? I mean, what would we use to clear? Yeah. So I think that was really bad. Yeah. Sometimes you should just go for it. As he did actually. Yeah, I mean he made it. Yeah, he just went for it, and that's usually the best. That's simply usually the best. So if we don't draw anything here, we would, so we didn't draw anything. So here's now the question, right? So what we can actually do is, like with the Acolyte, we can dispose 1. With the Shield Slam, we can dispose a second one, but we don't have a weapon to actually clear that one, which means, you see it yourself, it's problematic, right? So we actually decide to go for the patron, probably simply because we are a little bit desperate, and we can duplicate it twice. So now we have 3 patrons which can actually duplicate themselves. He has 3 patrons which can duplicate himself, but we got the Shield Slam. And with the Shield Slam, we can actually prevent 1 of spawning. So now he spawns with 2, and we actually spawn with 3. So we gotta have a small advantage here, and it's not only about that. But it's also that we can actually use the damaged ones to actually trade with the full ones, and we can even attack with that guy and get another one off. So that was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, we ran out of time and couldn't get the last attack off. The last attack wasn't the most important one, but the last attack, I mean, but the stupid thing is we got the attack on the face off, but we didn't get this off. So what it actually means is usually it's not even that bad, because like this would usually simply attack that one, and in that case, well, he probably does it anyways. The only thing is he now with the Bad Rage can draw one more card, and that is of course not very nice for us. The other thing being that he could attack with this the War Song, but that's like, I mean, yeah. So in the end we actually, yeah, enabled him to draw one more card, or one additional card, if you want to call it so. So that turn, yeah, I don't even know how we came back, to be honest. I mean, that game is simply lost. I really don't know how we came back. So in this situation it's so bad that we actually need to play the Acolyte of Pain. And why I absolutely dislike to play the Acolyte of Pain is because of Warsong and Patron. And if he actually got Warsong Patron, and if he actually played the Acolyte of Pain, and he actually plays Warsong Patron, we are really in a bad spot. I know that he has it in his hand, I just see it, and I actually don't know why he didn't play it, but that's another story. But so the thing is, I thought, okay, there's one Patron out of the deck, and more or less we have to play the Acolyte of Pain. Why is that? Because if we don't play the Acolyte of Pain here, we just gonna fall behind. And if he doesn't have the War Song, then if he attacks with the weapon, the Patron, we actually draw more cards. So this is a huge value play if he doesn't have the Charge Giver. If he does have the Charge Giver, it's quite bad. Especially if he does have Charge Giver and Patron. Then it's really super bad, because he can now play Warsong, Patron, attack with one Patron that guy, attack that guy, get 4 Patrons. I think why he didn't want to do that is because he would have gone to 11. But I mean, like this, he also goes to 11, right? Oh, no, okay, he wants to break the weapon because he's afraid that 11 damage could be dealt. Yeah. I mean, we know that we don't have like crap in the hand, like we really don't have anything in the hand. But I mean, I don't know, like he couldn't know, right? So he actually loses against a single Warsong commander. Yeah, perhaps he could have not. But on the other hand, this is also not the play to win. I'm not sure. Because he doesn't have armor up. So perhaps it was even the right call. I don't know. Perhaps. Yeah, but fortunately, I mean, despite him having these cards in the hand, our Acolyte of Pain was actually a very good call, because we actually could withdraw and execute out of his hand and draw an additional card through the Whirlwind. So that was actually 2 things which were really great. But to be honest, I still don't see any way how we can ever get back out of that stuff here. It's simply because we don't have like stuff to make it happen, I guess. Yeah, what I'm telling you is we have nothing. We have like a War Berserk without Whirlwind effect, without Charge Giver. I just scroll forward, but or should we even? I'm really curious, like, how did we come back here? What happened? What happened that we could actually come back in that game? Bad Rage is also not really possible, because Bad Rage goes always for 0. What happened that we could get back here? I'm really curious. So now we got a Whirlwind. It's really weird, isn't it? We need 15 damage. Yeah, I guess we attack with a weapon, the Warsong Commander. Simply because we have to try to, yeah. Of course, not getting rushed down, if possible. and he cannot even super over expand patrons because he has to be a little bit afraid that we have like some kind of combo which could make something happen. Here there's a Death Bite. And we obviously equip the Death Bite. I mean, that's one of our winning conditions, right? So suddenly it doesn't look like ultra bad if we actually draw the Warsong. Because if you draw the Warsong commander, we have actually a double Whirlwind with a Berserk. So suddenly it doesn't look that bad as it looked before. Which means we can probably align, yeah, Execute is probably a good idea. And probably even Death Biting it down. Well, actually we attacked already, right? Yeah, never mind that, but Execute is mandatory, and equipping the Death Bite is also very good. Okay, so yeah, he plays that, and yeah, it gets nasty for sure. It gets nasty for sure. Yeah. I'm really curious how we actually came back out of that mess. Armorsmith, of course, to draw 2 cards from the Battle Rage. And we need to do that. Yeah. We need. The plan is still like getting like this Berserk and Warsong Commander. We cannot get anything. Yeah. So that's not really 4 cards. Yeah. Armor is clear. The problem is because he has the Armorsmith that perhaps a Berserk into double Whirlwind is not even enough. So even if we happen to draw the Warsong here, even then we're probably not gonna win unless he actually plays that and suddenly we have a possibility to actually duplicate our patrons, if possible, I guess. And now he slams his Soresen. And this I don't know, like why. I mean, he gets another armor, but is it really? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't like it too much, but I mean, I would not even mind to. Yeah, you get the point, right? I mean, perhaps slamming this, then sending this into Armorsmith even, or I mean, something else, I guess. Because I don't know, but really like leaving like Thorson simply getting killed collateral. I mean, not sure, simply because you also have to win. I mean, now when we draw the Warsong Commander, of course, Warsong Commander and the Berserk double Whirlwind isn't lethal, because like the double Whirlwind actually would only inflict, let's say after we attack that guy, the Whirlwind will inflict 6, 12, 16, 18, yeah, 18 damage. We can inflict 18 damage, 12, 14 years. So it's not lethal, but so he definitely protected his life count the most. But on the other hand, like with the patron, like suddenly we have like this turn where we can actually duplicate everything. And especially because we got this patron, like the amount of patron advantage. So after we actually hitting that guy, we have actually 3 patrons and he only got 1, which means we have like 2 more patrons production through this one Whirlwind. And otherwise we would have only had like 1 overhead and would have been forced to actually play the other Whirlwind. Also, of course, if Thorson is at a higher or healthier life count, it would have also led to to us being in the necessity to actually also send 1 patron into that minion. So that's basically that. Now he's at 19 and we have like here 14 damage on the board. He cannot let the Warsong live. Like if he lets the Warsong live, he simply kill him with any Berserk. And as it looks like, he definitely has like quite of a possible shot here. Because if you think about it, like this is 8 mana, and so the cards alone, it's like one Whirlwind effect for 7. Which is 14, 16, 18, 22. So it's not immediately enough. But he can draw like anything. An Armor Smith, for example, and suddenly it could be enough. Let's say he draws an Armor Smith, then that's like 4 minions, plus 4 minions is 8 minions, is already like 8, plus the Armor Smith attacks something, so that's already like, or the Armor Smith could attack before even, so that's like 10, 11, 22, 24, 26, 30 damage. So if he only got like an Armor Smith, or if he only draws an Armor Smith, that's already 30 damage. So what you actually see here is, we got the Armor Smith, but again, of course, we play the Whirlwind here because it's simply 5 armor, and we already concluded he could have dealt 30 damage, which means the Armor Smith would have give us 5 armor, which would have actually led us to 30 life. Perhaps the Armor Smith could have gave us more armor, but then again, this is also one more target. So if we would have actually not played the Whirlwind here, we would have simply lost the game. Yeah, but as it is, we actually won. It's also interesting, right? Because like he can nearly clear. Like without the Whirlwind he could have even cleared, but of course he would have simply inflicted lethal. But he can actually play Berserk. One Berserk attacks that, the other one attacks that, one weapon attacks that, and the Armor Smith attacks that, leaving him with leaving us with 1 patron. Yeah. For the win. But okay, so that game we won, and the last game was this handlock against that was handlock against patron, and that one we lost. I think nothing we could do there, and he simply had it. And then there was handlock against priest. I don't want to comment on that one simply because handlock against priest, I mean, what's the comment about that, right? Okay, so shortly taking a look at the chat and then going to like Thais games against Savage. What are your thoughts on Shaman in the current meta game? Yeah, I hope after the new edition it will get better. Yeah. Yeah. The Shusho said you don't need to deal 25, you just need to gain a ton of armor. Yeah, but not if you're like 4 cards ahead in fatigue. Then it doesn't work. What? The 24 damage and the Armor Smith. Whether we could have done it 1 turn later? No. We had a 1 turn window where we could have done that, and the 1 turn window was when he went at 1 card. So not in fatigue because then we are already dead. But if he like the turn where he had 1 card in his deck, there we could have gone for 24 damage and play the Armor Smith. But it's very difficult to see. Yeah, I also agree that was. I would have probably simply gone for it and filled the board with patrons. Okay, so yeah, to Thijs plays. So where is it? Thijs, I don't even know when he played. So this, oh, Thijs against Savage. Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Let's take a look at the player. So because Thijs actually told us we should comment on his play entirely, we will do that. And Savage, I won't comment much about Savage simply because he, as I said, like I already explained, I don't want to comment much on players who didn't approve that they actually get commented. Yeah? Simply because whatever we say, they can never get a direct statement against that. So I can tell you, okay, this move from Savage was very stupid, and after all, it was probably a good one because he thought this and this and this. But he cannot defend, and you think, oh, okay, LifeCoach, that's stupid or whatever, yeah. So I won't do that. So we will mainly focus on Thijs, who's actually the handlock player here, and yeah, he goes ahead and taps, of course, into Drakes, and that's the obvious one. And he still doesn't know. I mean, I don't know, but I guess he still didn't know what he's up against. I guess he thought he could be up against Patron, but even if he would be up against Patron, I would probably prefer to play Drake over the Dark Bomb. I mean, I don't know how much information he had, but sometimes there are possibilities that you say, okay, in case of Whirlwind Execute, I'm rather gonna tap and play the Dark Bomb, playing the Drake at the later turn, and there's definitely a reasoning to that, but here Taskmaster doesn't really wound him, so the only thing which really wounds him is Whirlwind into Execute. So and given that he also has like a follow-up curve with Drake, with his Sylvanas, I definitely think that that's absolutely a possibility, like what he did. So Switch goes ahead and slams here. I mean, then again, I mean, I also don't need to comment too much on Control Warrior anyways, simply because I'm not an expert in Control Warrior play. So yeah, probably only like whatever is obvious, we can say something to it. To anything else, it would only be, yeah, it would not be a perfect commentary, I guess. So here's the handlock, and yeah, I mean, what's there to be said? Yeah, a Belcher is a good play. Against any patron, you should always play the Belcher. Does he know it's patron or not? No, I don't think at this point he can already conclude whether it is or not, which means, oh, did he see anything? I don't think so. So yeah, but the Belcher, like if you think it's patron, 100% the Belcher. If you think it's warrior, like you know he doesn't have execute. If he would have had execute, he would have used it last turn. So you can exclude execute, and then the question is if you can exclude execute, is it rather the Drake or the Belcher? But the Belcher is more in curve, and the Drake you can combine with tap. So I actually also agree with the Belcher play. So Savage is actually playing an Armor Smith, shield blocking, yeah. So no Thorison. Oh well, actually it is patron, right? Oh, he's actually playing patron with. Sorry about that. I thought it's Control Warrior because of the brawl, but it's nonsense. It's basically simply patron with the brawl. I don't know how much like. I wouldn't say how much sense it does, but yeah. Whatever, like, I don't think it fits too much in a combo deck, but I mean, there is a surprise effect. On the other hand, is there really a surprise effect? I mean, if people know Savage is, I mean, I heard it that Savage is actually using this one brawl, but who knows? Perhaps it's good, yeah. But so coin. So if you would have went, so he went Armor Smith and Shield Block. Instead of Armor Smith and Shield Block, he could have get immediately to Thorison with a coin, but not really getting the right deductions. Probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's close, but yeah, if it's patron, I can comment on patron again. So that's better for us, all right? So that's that, and that's yeah. Attacking with the Drake, giving his hand, attacking with the Drake. Yeah, I guess so. Now there's a Lothep. And instead of the Lothep, he could have also went with Tap and Drake. I think I like Tap and Drake better. I don't know why we should play the Lothep here. There's no, like, the thing is, what do we want to prevent with Lothep? Yeah, and with Lothep we want definitely to prevent, for example, a possibility that he can either play let's say a big battle rage turn, or that he can play like a big patron turn with inner rages. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is, I mean, there is no whirlwind, no Deathbite equipped yet. So I guess by the turn where he actually has a Deathbite equipped, the likelihood of him actually getting a lot of minions or patrons and then playing battle rage, or let's say playing inner rages on patrons and stuff, actually increases. Also with 7 mana, it could still be difficult for him to do that. So and definitely like a kill for him is super difficult. So I think Lothep is simply doing more next turn. So I would probably simply go Tap and Drake. Yeah, or Sylvanas. I don't know what's better there. I mean, Sylvanas stands behind Taunt and actually prevents any kind of patron turns. Can he actually dispose it? Only with Execute, but only after he actually damaged Sylvanas. But then again, it would be a priority target. On the other hand, the Drake is also a priority target, right? So I guess I would, instead of going for Lothep, I would probably go either with Sylvanas or with Drake. But probably tapping into Drake to increase the amount of options we got. Especially with Thaurissan on board. I mean, there is even Thaurissan on board. I actually, definitely tap then, right? Definitely tap into Drake. If you even get like a second Thaurissan off, then the amount of cards in your hand should definitely be, important. I mean, I'm not saying it could have not been lethal, right? I mean, how much would it actually add it to? He could have played, but I'm just saying it's very rare that it is lethal. He could have played like one Berserk, killing the Sludge Belcher, right? Somewhat. Is it true? He could have silenced, but not doing much about it. Again, like the amount of whirlwind effect is like what's important, and there's like one whirlwind effect for 7, so that's 9 damage. Even if he gets rid of the Belcher without anything, it's still only 12 damage. So yes, it would have been nowhere near to being enough. Okay, so what happens here? Yeah, he lethals. Yeah, that's a good move. lethal is always good. I mean, it's not clear cut, I guess, because the Lothep actually prevents. I mean, it's not super clear cut, right? I mean, it's of course Lothep prevents your board from being affected. Yeah. Trying to set up the next turn lethal. I mean, it's not bad either, right? You got 9 damage. And you have 14, 17, so you have 26. Yeah, I didn't see that it's such an easy lethal, to be honest. So, yeah, because you also prevent executes. Yeah, no. Never mind me. The Lothep is good. The Lothep is good. If the life counts are like this, it should be good. 1 armor smith is already out, so he goes to 23 usually, and perhaps whatever, but 23, and this is already like 14, and I just saw that he has like 9 direct damage, so it's like 9 plus 14 is 23. Yeah, what I'm saying is if you don't prepare lethal next turn, I think Lothep is bad, but I just saw that it's really nicely preparing lethal next turn, and then then it's good. There's taunt possible, but then you can out that. No, I like that. So what's the next game? Yeah, we can also just take a look, like what the chat is saying. Yeah, I mean, we are also not in the match. I mean, in the match you would also take, of course, overtime every turn. Save Patron. Patron is super bad against Patron. Because, yeah, it's only a liability later. What? He saw the last series, so he knows it's Patron. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I also agree. Like, if you set up lethal, it's good, better. Yeah. Yeah. So, next game. So, nice, well played and nicely played by Thijs, that one. And the next one, he actually plays what? Mid-range Hunter. Mid-range Hunter, it's kind of hybrid, right? Against Savicius, who knows? Either, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know, yeah, it's super face, yeah? So, Savic plays super face, and Thijs plays mid-range. Yeah, I guess it's simply playing the obvious curve, right, with mid-range. So you simply play your animal companion here, you see what you get. If it's Misha, doesn't matter, we still kill the infiltrator. Being a little bit behind, unfortunately, but that's like sometimes the curse, I guess. So now Savage turn. I don't even know. What do you like to play? Haunted Creeper, or do you simply shoot? Shoot is too slow, right? But Haunted Creeper is also a little bit sucky. I don't know with Acro Hunter. It's always face. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Actually, I don't see anything which is good here. I mean, the Owl is kind of bad. The Haunted Creeper is kind of bad. Pearl's really simply shooting his face, but then in the long run you should probably lose, or don't you? I would probably simply shoot face, I guess. Shoot face this turn, and next turn, Arcane Golem, no. You want that for burst, right? So if you shoot his face now to 16, okay, Thijs attacks and plays whatever. Next turn you can actually shoot the face down to 14 and play, let's say, a Haunted Creeper. And the turn after, probably Haunted Creeper survives, I guess. You can actually silence this guy and play Arcane Golem. So he is at 14, minus 4 is 10, minus 1 is 9. And you can also attack with the Glavesucker. So he goes to 7, leaving or like setting you up with possibilities to kill. On the other hand, if you play Arcane Golem here onto that one, you lose tremendous burst damage and increase your chance tremendously to fall behind, right? As I said, I'm not a face hunter player, so but it looks a little bit, I don't know, you have to tell me. I mean, it's but for me it looks like that you decreased your amount of damage. Like now you have, I mean, what kind of damage do you have now? Yeah, this is burst. Yeah, I mean, I just said again like the other play. So if you shoot this turn, he goes to 16. Next turn you shoot 14, plays this guy. The turn after you can actually Owl Arcane Golem into face if he doesn't have a freeze trap by that. By that time he goes to 10. You attack with the spider, he goes to 9. You attack with your weapon, he goes to 7. And next turn you actually already have the unleash. So you can actually then unleash for 3 or 4. Of course, if you unleash for 5 you win, but you can probably unleash for 3 or 4. And if you drew like anything, you simply win then. And with that play, I mean, he's at 16 and your burst damage is tremendously decreased, right? You have like 2 bursts, this is no burst, this is no burst. I mean, suddenly you're completely out of the game, right? Or not. And as a collateral, you also like, and here's your abusive. So this abusive would have then been enough to kill. Like we said, like turn 3 bring 16, turn 4 bring it to 12. No, sorry, turn 4 bring it to 14, and then turn 5 we could have brought him to 7, and by turn 6 we would have been able to kill with unleash, abusive, and shoot. So perfect, yeah, right. Like the 7 damage, unleash, abusive, and shoot. Dreamland, like with a 6 mana. Then on the other hand, like now the turn 6 kill is not inside. Yeah, there's nothing inside now. Yeah, I don't know, but I guess, I mean, it's Face Hunter, right? So just going for it and hope. And Arcane Golem, yeah, not sure. I'm not sure about that. So Thijs, yeah, Thijs is playing his curve. I mean, what can we say to that? Yeah, of course for 5 mana he plays the Tiger. Of course for 6 mana there is the High Main. I would also not know what else. I mean, that's simply what you do. So Thijs set up for a 2-turn lethal here, which means, well, set up. I mean, of course, it's simply in 2 turns it's lethal. Yeah. So now the Face Hunter has to kill in the next turn, and that's pretty difficult. Unleash would be, yeah, it's simply not good. Yeah. 5 damage now. I mean, still not. 3 damage, so he goes to 11. He shoots his 9. Then the other one can probably clear the board, perhaps. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, could be good. And what's here? That's now a little bit a tougher one, right? Or is it? Do you spawn the hyenas or not? You definitely don't attack with the bow. You definitely play the bow and attack face. That's a clear one. You play the piloted shredder, and do we like that or not? And I think I like that because it plays more around unleash. On the other hand, you could sacrifice into freezing traps. Does it make a difference? It's super close, I guess. Super close. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's definitely acceptable. So he gets the 2 guys, so that's greedy. 2 guys. I'm not sure about the 2 guys, because the 2 guys, like the Hymen, if it hits twice the face, it's 12 damage, and Lothep, if it hits twice the face, is 14 damage with the hyenas. So he actually inflicts 2 more damage by that. On the other hand, he makes himself like much more vulnerable to Unleash, because Unleash is now for 2 more. No, I actually don't like that. I don't agree. Like it's so he's at 17, and this is 5, 9, 11, 13, 16, 18, like this. And with the other play he would be at 16, which would mean 11, 15. It would mean, so not that, so it would mean 6, 10, 13, him being 16, 13 plus 15. So if Unleash goes only for 1, and definitely Unleash will go for 1, because there is a Haunted Creeper, and he doesn't take care of any of your creatures, you will win. And I think him being forced to kill one of your minions, and this minions being Highmane and Shredder left, it's not really appealing. So it probably won't happen, which probably will mean you simply win next turn. Unless you lose this turn, but with this play you simply get 2 hyenas, which will increase the power of his Unleash. So I definitely think better sacrificing this and going phase with the other one. Also, I think if Face Hunter begins you to kill Shredder or to kill Highmane, he loses anyways. Yeah, so I don't think that's good here. Simply because you simply win next turn if he... Yeah. So what's that? This is Unleash, so that's 5 damage. Kill command, it's so it's 12 damage, yeah? Or what is it? Is it? 5, 10, 12. Well, what a pity. No, it's not even, sorry, he cannot even play that. Never mind. It's only 10. Yeah. But yeah, I mean... Huh. 6, 8, 11, 13, 15. Yeah, and something like this, like with the other play, you get the point, right? Then we would have already netted 1 more damage into the face. And probably he wouldn't have killed the Highmane, who knows, yeah. It's not unlikely that he would have simply not killed it. Okay. Yeah, killing it before is a good move. Setting up the freezing is a good move. Yeah. Yeah, that's a blank, and if it wouldn't have been a blank, 2 damage, he goes to 6, so he actually played around quick shot and around kill command, right? Yes, also around kill command. And the last time was good, for sure. Okay, but this game is simply over, right? Huh? Okay, so just taking a short look. Galot Scott asked about the coffee beans from Burbank. I actually used them, and they are really good. Yeah. No, I think if you should, like Crane said about the creeper, but I think you maximize the chances to win by turn 6 if you actually go for the shot. What against Trump? Why we knew that we can make like lethal there against Trump? Yeah, because we had exactly the same situation against Savage, and there I actually missed the lethal. So yeah, but we are of course not learn resistant, so that's our benefit. What? He would have lost if he didn't trade. No, you should trade, but not the 6-5 high main. You should trade the other one. You should trade the 5-5, not the high main. Of course, you should trade one. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This tie is already up or what? Now it's 2-0 already or what? Oh damn. I spoiled. Oh, I spoiled. Yeah, that was pretty sorry about that. Yeah, I spoiled, but perhaps, yeah, okay. I mean, usually I would just jump in turn 4, but for ties we are doing it. We just starting from the very beginning. So let's go and start even like with the mulligan if you want. Yeah, just so that I mean, everything starts with the mulligan, right? So it's like. So here we go, and what is a keep against handlock, and Thijs at this moment he knows that he is up, or that he will be up against handlock. The keeps are Acolyte of Pain, and that's actually it. Slam is a consideration, but not really, yeah. You want executes, you want Acolyte of Pains, yeah, stuff like that. You don't want the Fury for sure. If it's handlock, I don't know what I thought, right? So yeah, exactly. So Thijs is actually giving everything away besides the Acolyte, and that's the obviously correct call. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing to be played. Handlock's turn. Handlock of course taps. Handlock's plan tap, giant, Belcher. Yeah. So now turn 2 for Thijs, and the evaluation was whether coin into Acolyte. But what's the follow up if coin into Acolyte goes? Is it really like slamming the Acolyte then? Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Probably the follow up must be now slam into Acolyte, but this is really the line with the most value. Who knows? Yeah, the reason why I'm not super sure on these plays is, for example, like if you, I mean, what did he have? He had Bad Rage and Deathbite, right? So, I mean, you don't want to armor up, of course, but I mean, it's not too bad because you will be able to damage yourself with your weapon for sure. So that's good for the Battle Rage. So Acolyte will be 1 turn delayed, but not really delayed. Like, I mean, you simply play him, and instead of having Slam and the coin, you actually trade Slam and the coin against. No, sorry, you actually trade 2 cards in your hand against Slam and the coin if you don't go for it, and 2 armor, and 2 life on the Acolyte. So I just compare shortly like what happens if you play coin into Acolyte and then Slam with the play where you actually armor up and then play the Acolyte. So after turn 3, with a play with a Slam, you will have yeah, exactly what I said. Like with the one play you will still have the Slam in the hand and the coin, and with the other play you will have 2 cards instead, but your Acolyte will also be at 3 health. So I pretty much am sure that not playing the coin and then playing turn 3 Acolyte, well, if you don't draw anything, it's definitely better, like to wait. The only question is what could you draw, but what I'm saying in general, like definitely not doing it. Yeah, I just say it again. So the question is actually, do you rather prefer to have 2 cards in your hand or do you prefer to have instead 1 slam, 1 coin, 2 armor, and 2 health more on your acolyte? That's basically the direct trade. And obviously 2 armor, 2 health on the acolyte, 1 slam and 1 coin is more valuable than 2 cards. Yeah. So yeah, but okay, whatever. Just for example, in this situation, suddenly you can go for inner rage on the acolyte if it's still at 1-3. Then you have already a 3-2 acolyte. Then it's not even that far away from, let's say, another inner rage and death bite and killing the giant and stuff like that. So yeah, they didn't like that's not. I mean, I see that it's important to draw the cards too, but I just, I mean, in the direct comparison, the play to coin out the acolyte can simply not stand the test of time. Unless you have, of course, double acolyte, then you can coin out acolyte into acolyte. But there was simply no turn 3 follow up. Even if you play like, let's say, coin into acolyte into fury, it's still not a good play. Yeah. Okay, so here is the execute. Yeah. Okay, that's a acceptable good draw. Do you want to play it? Or do you, like, if you play it, you play the armor smith too. Do you like to do it or don't you like to do that? I guess it's acceptable to do it. Yeah. Any ideas to the play? But I guess that's that, right? I mean, oh, Thijs is already asking about the turn 2. Yeah, we just analyzed it. How do you think when you get a lot of 4 drops? A lot of 4 drops. Yeah, it's basically that. Like, you have to ask yourself what's better: 2 cards in your hand, or a coin slam, 2 armor, and 2 heads on the acolyte. And I think, in average, you're not good. You're not better off with the 2 cards. I mean, this is also another thing, right? I mean, we can always argue about like whether it really is the case, but it's simply like that's like a statement. Like, the statement is what you trade, and then you can, like, this is usually, if you don't analyze it and if you don't break it or like completely off, if you don't do that, it will get really difficult. Yeah, then you will have something like, oh, but like, usually if 2 players argument with each other, usually it's like that. The one says, yeah, coin acolyte is better. The other one says, let's say, yeah, waiting is better. And then if they argue, the one will say, yeah, it's better because you cycle more, and then a lot of turns later, like 2 cards are really important, that you drew 2 cards is really important, because you want to get like whatever to execute quickly or whatever it is. And the other player will perhaps argue, yeah, but keeping the coin, or perhaps it's better, and because of whatever, and then like they both give like a scenario where it's good to actually do what they thought it is. It's good because like this is like positive confirmed bias. Yeah. So if you think something is good, you will try to find reasons for that. Yeah. So in general, like, there are always like positive reasons and negative reasons for plays. Yeah, because if there are only positive things to attach to a play or only negative things, it's very easy to say which one is better. So usually you have 2 sides. There are like always like positive and negative outcomes to whatever place you play, and you have to wait like whether the amount and the number of positive outcomes outweighs the amount of positive against negative outcomes the other play would have give you as benefits. Of course, also with a weighting. So if the one play gives you a 60% immediate or a 50% insta-lethal, of course it's better than a play which gives you in 70% of the times a good play. Yeah. So of course you have to weight the two. But what I'm saying is usually this will be very fruitless, because the one player says, yeah, this is good because this and this. In this matchup, the other one will play giants. If you don't handle the giants, you lose, so you need executes. The other player will say, yeah, but on the other hand, you need a lot of cards because you want to burst him down. And in order to burst him down, you need Thorison, Warsong, and blah, whatever. Yeah, okay. But by breaking off the parts and actually comparing them directly, there is no like waiting for opinions. Yeah, so it's simply the opinions. We don't even talk about the opinions. Yeah, I mean, whether in the end you think that two cards are better, or whether instead of having two cards, slam coin to armor and to life on the acolyte sounds better for you. This is something you can decide for yourself. Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely like 2 life, 2 heads on the armor smith, 1 coin, and slam in the hand is much better than 2 cards. But and the only way you could disagree with me is if you would say the 2 cards are better. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like this, it gets much clearer. Yeah, it gets much clearer because you can compare directly. But yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's go to the next play, and Savage slams down the next thread. Okay. It's, by the way, also interesting whether the armor smith and execute is better, because the giant would have slammed the face for 8, so bringing, of course, ties to 22. Let's say he would have played Deathbite or something, but probably not. I mean, probably it's simply nonsense. It's okay how you played it. The other thing I wanted to say is if he now plays something else, next turn he can execute and play something else again. So perhaps even playing the Gnomish Inventor, I don't know. I mean, the giant, does he really hit face? I mean, if the giant hits the Gnomish Inventor, how is the board looking then? There will be a Gnomish Inventor coming down and an execute next turn, which means, yeah, you don't have the 1/4, but for that you cycled 1 card, right? Huh, interesting. Perhaps you want to play Gnomish last turn, and this turn playing Gnomish and execute. Let's say he attacks you Gnomish. Then you would have like 1 less armor smith on the board, but you would have had 1 more card now in your hand. And I don't know whether 1 card or the armor smith is more important. Who knows? Yeah. Thijs played the Gnomish Inventor, and I think, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, should be correct. Thijs has to set up some big turn at the moment, yeah, and Savage, of course. Oh, what the fuck? Did you really go face? But isn't this not a very good jumper for Battle Rage? Huh. Perhaps he wants to raise, but does he really have the means to raise? I just don't see it. Like, Savage at the moment, he doesn't have any. Like, there is a follow-up Dr. Boom, right? But okay, so if this doesn't get handled, but with the Battle Rage it can get handled, so even if it doesn't get handled, there's another 8, so he goes to 14, he has a Dr. Boom. So then this will definitely get handled at that turn. Yeah, and with the armor, Patron usually can create. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether face is the place here. Really, really not. I don't know. You simply give Patron now a lot of options. And the armor smith is already on the board. So I think with the hand, Savage got 8 damage is 8 damage. It's a lot. I'm not, but I think there's not enough follow-up pressure possibility to simply be able to do that. Yeah. So now Thijs can, I mean, we know because I spoiled that Thijs loses the game. Probably he loses because Savage played it like that. But I'm just saying, like in average, I'm not sure whether that's really that great. Okay, who knows? So what should it be? Do we want to play the Deathbite here and Battle Rage? but then we cannot play an execute. Or we could attack and battle rage for 3. Having the option to actually utilize all the cards we drew with it. It looks weird. On the other hand, like having minions at 1 health is not the very worst outcome. What is if you play the Death Bite first and attack? Then we would probably attack with this 2. And then we could even kill and clear the slime, which is actually good result, right? I guess so. Yeah. We could also. No, I think that's good. Yeah. And we could also whirlwind or what? Is whirlwind any option? I mean, using a whirlwind seems to be quite off. I take a look at the chat first and then we continue. Has been a while. Two HP on Acolyte is irrelevant. That's the biggest nonsense I ever heard. Yeah. Okay. Irrelevant. Whether the Acolyte of Pain is 1 health or 3 health, yeah. Okay. So. It's okay. Yeah, and I was not referring to Urinaria, by the way, with the giant stuff. I'm just saying, like, in general, it's better to break it off. Oh, I wasn't. Hey, right. Yeah, it's true. I didn't want to comment too much, but it's really nice to comment on handlock plays, and I really, okay, yeah, but perhaps you're right. Okay, but so what is here? Like, this is a very important turn here, and super important. So do you want to whirlwind here, perhaps even? Like, what is whirlwind doing? Like, whirlwind into battle rage doesn't really accomplish anything, right? What do we do with the 3 mana then? It's super. It shouldn't be good. On the other hand, we wound our minions, but it shouldn't be good, right? So do you want to? I mean, there is already one execute out. Do you simply want to play Deathbite, attack it, kill the slime and battle rage for 3? That's it, right? It's simple as that. Deathbite, attack. Get 21 and 21 health and battle rage for 3. Yeah. Or do we overdraw then? Is there some overdraw? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we would overdraw. Yeah. We would overdraw unless we also play the inner rage. Is it right? 2, 4, 6, 8. So much. So 7, 10. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually basically that. Yeah. So if you don't, but if you overdraw, perhaps you don't want to go for it. But on the other hand, is there really something else? Yeah, super difficult. I don't know. I wouldn't even know where you want to actually send the inner rage onto. Where do you want to send the inner rage onto if you go for that? Yeah, I don't know. Frozen. Whatever. It's super difficult. It's really difficult. I will place it for 2, okay. But if you play it for 2, why the hell should you attack with a weapon first? Why the hell should you not first attack with the armor smith and then play battle rage for 2, and then if you don't draw anything, you can still play Deathbite and attack it? No, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you play, before you play Battle Ratio 2, you can simply attack with the Armorsmith first, then draw the 2 cards, and then play the Deathbite if you don't draw anything better. I actually don't see how this serves any purpose. And to be honest, like, no, really, I cannot see it. No. It should be dominated to play it like that, but I'm not sure. But should be alright. And the coin, guys, the coin. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know it would have completely played out differently if the coin would have been kept. I'm just saying sometimes it's really, really nice to have the coin. Yeah, it's not that the coin is a bad card in this matchup at all. Like, very often you simply get this 1 more mana which you need for this additional whirlwind, or this 1 more mana which you need to actually enable Warsong Grim Patron, for example, which would be really huge here. Having Warsong into Grim Patron here would be really huge. Now, is it, by the way, a lethal turn? Like with Warsong? Oh, sorry, now I skipped it, unfortunately. I mean, it is 1 Berserk, so 1 Berserk into double whirlwind, right? So it's, let us calculate, so it's 4-8, so the first whirlwind deals 8, and then probably 4 guys, yeah, probably 3 guys will die, so at least, so that's like the other one deals like 5, so it's like 13, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. If no bomb hits the Berserk for any amount, yeah. And how you execute this is Warsong Berserk, playing the Inner Rage first on the Gnomish, so that you're not that dependent on the hit. So actually you would play Frozen Inner Rage on the Gnomish face. With this also, with this also face, it doesn't matter. And then play the double whirlwind effect and hope that no boombot. I mean, because you have a double whirlwind effect, the boombot may hit the Berserk for 1, but they may not hit the Berserk for 2. Yeah. And then you simply gamble. Can you actually hit the boombot beforehand? That would be a question which we can ask ourselves, but if you do that, it's probably not enough. Then, like, if let's say the boombot hits the face, how does it look then? We have like 4 minions. Yeah, it's simply not good enough. Yeah, so it's like 4, 8. Now we actually have 7 plus 6, 13, 15, 19, 22. Well, actually, yeah, okay, but if the bomb actually hits that, no? I mean, to the board state, like, let's do the last turn. So here we go. So this is the board state. So if he hits with the Armorsmith first, so let's say the bomb doesn't hit the Gnomish Inventor, what happens then? So that's like 3 minions and 3 minions, which means the first whirlwind did 6 damage. 6 damage for the first whirlwind. And let's say the bomb hits the face then the second whirlwind would still be able to inflict 5, which is 11, 11, 12, 13, 17, 11 from the whirlwinds, yeah, from the whirlwinds alone, plus Frozen Berserk, 12, 13, Gnomish, 14, 15, Weapon, 19, Inner Rage plus 3, 22. So it would have been enough. If the bomb hits the Gnomish, I'm afraid, and if the bomb actually hits the Gnomish after the first whirlwind, it's still completely okay. Because if the bomb hits this or this, it doesn't matter. If the bomb hits the face, we get 1 more damage from the whirlwind on the Gnomish, but if the bomb hits the Gnomish, we get the 1 more damage because the bomb hit the Gnomish. So the only thing which may not happen is that the bomb hits this first. Like if you attack with the Armorsmith this and the bomb hits that, or what? Is it like that? If the bomb hits that, then it's 3 targets, 5 targets, 5, but even then the bomb may hit, so it's 5, 6, 10, 10, 14, 16, 10, 12, 16, 18, 21. Okay, so the bomb may not hit that. Okay. The chance of the bomb hitting the Gnomish inventory is 25% to hit it lethal. And then it won't work out. Okay. I was just wondering whether we can only make like 1 bomb happen. But if we cannot make 1 bomb happen, it's the Warzone Commander, Frozen Berserk, and then enrage that guy here. I'm really wondering. This Armorsmith attack doesn't make sense because you can deal 1 damage, or is it irrelevant? I think it's. Is it simply irrelevant? Yeah, it's irrelevant. I mean, for the damage output, it's irrelevant anyways. But yeah, it shouldn't matter. The Mountain Giant gets 1 less health or something, but and yeah, I think it should have been the Inner Rage before. Yeah, it should have been the Inner Rage before, simply because if it's not the Inner Rage before, there is a chance that the Berserk gets hit for 1. And then you cannot use the Inner Rage any longer, or would it have been enough anyways then? Yeah, probably it would have been enough anyways. I guess it didn't matter too much. But here was a very nice example. So you could see, we could nearly make it happen that, like, attacking the bomb before. It was one damage off that we could have, like counterfeited 1 bomb. Ty said drawing for 2 looks nice. Yeah, but the order. I mean, you can draw for 2, but then you want to attack first with the Armorsmith, then you battle rage for 2, and then you can still decide, right? Or did I have, or am I wrong there? Yeah, Economy Pass said it was perhaps irrelevant because it's only execute, but I mean it's simply dominated not to do it. Like with the 1 you can actually draw in something else you want to play. There is no downside to it. Yeah. You can always play the stuff no matter what. Ty said he didn't even need the second, like he didn't even need the whirlwind to inflict lethal. Yeah, I didn't count. Yeah, I mean if it's already enough without the second whirlwind, you simply don't play the second whirlwind, right? Trade Armorsmith first. Yeah, we just concluded it should not be enough then. You increase the chance too much. The chance if you trade the bomb first that it actually kills a vital minion is 25%. And that's actually more or less the chance that the bomb hits you Berserk. So it basically doesn't matter whether you do it first or not. Yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't kill Gnomish, everything is perfect. Then it's even 23, I guess. But if it kills Gnomish, you're one short. On the odds worse, hoping it doesn't kill Gnomish instead of having 3 targets and hope it doesn't deal 3 or 4 on the frozen. Yeah, it's not that easy. Like it's first of all, it may not hit the Gnomish, and then there's still the 1 bomb which can still hit the Berserk. Yeah, so you basically counterfeit 1 bomb, not both, and for that you take a 25% that you simply don't get it. So no, it's definitely better simply to go for it. And not to take like the Armor Smith first. Yeah, it's simply 25% you have on top of that. And the bomb actually hitting your Berserk is not that high. It's not adding that much. Definitely not 25%. So definitely not attacking first. So how you played it was okay. Okay, so hmm? What half is that bomb hits Berserk if not trade first? What? I don't get it. No. Yeah, yeah, it didn't make too much sense. It's true. Okay, but but fortunately, Thijs did have like future games. So we just jump into turn 4. Or should we even? Yeah, we just jumped into turn 4. He is first to act, so he didn't use the coin. On the other hand, like Savage seemed to actually have used the coin. We can actually see here what happened. So armor up, coin acolyte. There is a slam. From whom? What? What did you slam? What? Yeah, okay, we just take a look from the beginning. So, okay, there was a mulligan, whatever. We don't comment on the mulligan, so we just take a look what happens here. And there is an acolyte. And there's really a slam on the acolyte here. Wow, I don't know. I don't know. With the armor up, you armor up. With a slam, you cycle the card. I mean, you cycle the card. I don't know. I mean, I can see that you definitely want to get the death bite here. So yeah, perhaps. I mean, for you, it doesn't really make like, okay, slam or not a slam, probably another card is a little bit better. But for him, of course, losing 2 heads on the acolyte and drawing a card for that is also much better. So, and for that, you also sacrifice 2 armor, right? So actually, you say yes, to have another card than the Battle Rage, to have another card than the slam is definitely of merit. And I can definitely see that. On the other hand, for him, trading 2 life against a card is also definitely of a merit for him. So, and you forfeit 2 armor. Yeah, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, it's really close, I think. Because you already got like patrons, you really only want this 1 more activation. So I can see slamming that guy here. I don't mind. I think this card is really of uttermost importance. So I really don't mind doing that here. Frozen seems to be nice. Frozen Inner Rage on the Acolyte and kill the Acolyte. That seems to be pretty strong. I mean, if you go for that, you definitely use the Frozen, right, or what? Okay. Or not. I mean, you don't need to. You can also play the X and Battle Rage. That's even better, to be honest. Yeah, probably that's even better. Yeah. I guess both plays are insanely strong. Yeah. I mean, with this play, you get like the possibility that you could overdraw, right? And with the other play, you would have like developed a very strong board, having a 3-1, 1-1, a big Berserk. And what do you think, guys? I mean, with the one play, you have a big Berserk, you have a 3-1 and a 1-1. You cannot overdraw whatsoever. I mean, okay, when can you really overdraw here? It's also true, right? I mean, you would need to kill both. It's not likely. It's not likely. Well, I mean, I don't know, like Whirlwind and Taskmaster. I mean, Taskmaster is not even being played that much nowadays. But I'm just saying there are possible options, right? Whirlwind or Taskmaster, you overdraw a little bit. I don't know whether you care about that too much. It looked nice, right? Battle Rage for 3 and stuff. Execute on the Acolyte is always possible. Probably should simply go for that. I mean, why not, right? Seems to be strong and probably is strong. What's here? Savage want to probably prepare the Whirlwind effect, I guess. So Death Bite attacking phase. I mean, we can see the Harrison on the other side here, but I mean, you really want to get the patrons first. Whoever gets the patrons first wins. Yeah, and the way here to get the patrons first is to play Death Bite and attack this gnome. Yeah, it's a super good play. Of course, you should do that. I mean, only because we see there is a Harrison. Yeah. Okay. Now, of course, Harrison comes down. It's clear. I'm really wondering how it would have played out if Savage would have taken the more aggressive line with Berserk into Inner Rage Acolyte, attacking with the Acolyte, and it's still not over, right? I mean, after the play he would have still had mana at his disposal. So I'm not sure, really not. Could have been pretty strong. But here is now a second one. Yeah, of course, second Death Bite, that's good. He needs to set up the combo. It's easy as that. Now we go to Sevilla, to Ty's turn, and yeah. So here is actually a very interesting turn, right? Because Thijs has actually to evaluate like what's better. Is it better to go for Death Bite? With Death Bite having the possibility to actually spawn patrons, but not really like with Warzone Commander, right? Because there's no Inner Rage. So if he actually puts Death Bite attacks face here, the next turn is basically perhaps a Grim Patron into Whirlwind, into Death Bite, Whirlwind, but into a Battle Rage. So he could refill his hand again with that play. Yeah, in all seriousness, of course, Thorson must come down here. There's no other play than Thorson here, I would say, because you actually, like with playing Thorson here, you actually make like possible, like depending on what you draw, you get very, very nice possibilities, and you force him to deal with your Thorson at the same time. So probably, like now you're really afraid that he, well, I mean, of course he has a Whirlwind Death Bite equipped, so handling Thorson is also not too much of a task. But if you take a look at your hand, after you played Thorson, you have for 6 mana you can play Warzone Grim Patron, Whirlwind goes for 3, Unstable Good goes for 1, so that's 7 mana, and Battle Rage goes for 1, which is 8 mana. So you have actually, after you play Thorson, you have first of all Thorson on board. So if he doesn't have this Patron combo yet, he really has an insanely hard time to handle with Thorison, because he may not break his Whirlwind weapon then under these circumstances. And even if he does have it, and after that it's usually over anyways if he doesn't have the patron combo now, because then you can actually go Warsong Patron into double Whirlwind effect, into Battle Rage, into Execute. So that's simply insane. Yeah. So even if he goes for the patron turn here, like let's say even if you play Thorison and he plays patron, he whirlwinds it, will attack Thorison, whirlwinds it again. You simply have everything then, because you can execute one. I didn't even count, like it could even be lethal. So let's see, if he plays Thorison and he really goes for the patrons, then he will probably end up with 24 life, minus the 5 life from the hit, so with 19 life. 19 life for patrons. So what would that mean? 2, 4, 5, drawing more cards, whirlwind for free. So that's already, yeah, how much is it? That's like 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys. We make a whirlwind, so this is like 7 damage. He goes to 6 minions. So now we are like at 7 damage. We send the ghoul into his minions, so that's like 9 damage. The whirlwind effect will now deal 9 damage, so now we are at 18. Berserk 20. Plus of course like Bad Rage, and if you only draw 1 inner rage, it should be already enough. I mean, I can do also shortly the counting again. So if you have like 2, 4, 5, and we have 3 mana free, right? I mean, if you play 2, 4, like if you play Warsong, Berserk, if you play Warsong, Berserk, Unstable Ghoul, that's like 2, 4, 5 mana. Whirlwind for free, so that's still 5 mana, right? 5 mana is it, right? 2, 4, 5, yeah, so better rate 6. You have 3 cards to draw, and these 3 cards must be Inner Rage or another Whirlwind. That's it, I think. And if you send the Ghoul first, how does it influence the damage? Does it even give us more? So if you would send the Ghoul first, I don't think it gives us more. So if you send the Ghoul first, it should be 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 8, 79. No, it shouldn't be more. But what we can actually do is like Warsong, Ghoul, Frozen, Whirlwind, and Battle Rage. Then, so actually drawing 4 cards, and 4 cards, there are 2 Battle Rages in there, there's 1 Whirlwind in there, and I don't even know whether I forgot about anything. But with the 4 cards, it's insanely likely that we draw any of these 3 cards, which will then enable us to win the game. So, okay, long story short, you have to play Thorison here, which of course also came down, and even like whatever happens, Tai simply wins. So if there is no patron combo, Tai simply wins. If there is a patron combo, Tai should probably also win. Yeah. So yeah, these are the conclusions. And there is a slam, so it doesn't go for the patrons really. That's actually interesting, isn't it? I mean, interesting, whatever, like. I mean, now it's simply Death Bite equip on the face. Death Bite on the face, setting up lethal for next turn, right? It's very straightforward. Ooh, Battle Rage for 1. Indeed, yeah. Okay. Well, interesting, I mean, not saying it's, well, actually. Yeah, I think in this situation, you have like already the discount, you have already Whirlwind effects, you already got like Warsong, Frozen, and Patron discounted. Yeah, you should definitely not play any of these. Like you got everything. You got everything, guys. Yeah, really everything. So there's really no need to hurry or to rush. your opponent haven't played Thorson yet, which means you are not afraid of being lethal. Yeah, it's 100% equipping Death Bite here, attacking face, and now you can actually, yeah, I mean, we can just calculate how much damage that will be, and then depending on how much damage that will be, we can actually decide whether we also would like to, I mean, we also of course play the Armor Smith because we want actually that he sends Grim Patrons onto the Armor Smith, so that's actually in our interest, so we should definitely play the Armor Smith for sure. The only question is, do we armor up or do we slam our Armor Smith? That's basically the only question, and we should slam our Armor Smith if we think we don't lethal him next turn. But the thing is, next turn there will be Warsong Patron and Frozen coming in. And Warsong Frozen Patron coming in means, well, I mean, I can just calculate for our board alone. So for our board alone, if you actually play Warsong Frozen Patron, Unstable Ghoul, I mean, he needs at least 1 minion on the board, so let's calculate with 1 minion on the opposing board, and that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 minions. So the first Whirlwind will deal 5, then it's whatever. So the first Whirlwind needs 5. We spawn 1 more. The next one is like with a Ghoul, so that's Ghoul is 7, and the same Whirlwind dealt is 12. We have 4 Patrons, is 12, is 24. Oh, and we got the Death Bite, so yeah, it's more than enough damage, guys. It's just more than enough damage. It's simply, we completely overkill him. Even if he got only 1 minion, only one. Yeah, even if he got only 1 minion, and we already concluded that it will be like 5, 7, 12, 12 plus 7, like 19, 19 plus 5 slots is like 34, 36, 40 damage with a weapon. So we have like 40 damage next turn here. If he only has 1 minion, if he has more than 1 minion, it's definitely more than that. And so definitely Armor Smith and Armor Up. That's also the only possible play here. Yeah, simply because we have secured lethal. Even if he would play Harrison, we would also have lethal. Even if he plays, yeah, even if he plays nothing, I think we still got lethal. It's true, right? Yeah, I guess so. Ah, that's also it then. I mean, if he plays nothing and plays shield block, then it's probably not lethal, I guess. Then we have to count again. But this is actually really the only way. Yeah, Warsong Patron, of course, right? I mean, at some point you have to go for it. He cannot simply stand behind and do nothing, right? Okay. I mean, we know that it's a good play, but I mean the play which saves him. But he doesn't really want to really play the Warsong, like. So, yeah, do we want to calculate whether it's enough? We calculated before, it's definitely enough. So we can just go shortly through the execution. So what would probably inflict the maximum amount of damage would be Warsong Berserk, Grimpair, Warsong Patron, Frozen, Unstable Ghoul. So these are 4 minions, and in that case, yeah, we still whirlwind first. So that, yeah, something what we said, 40 damage or something. With one armor smith on our side, it should even be more. With one armor smith on our side, it should be 42 damage even or something like that. I'm too tired to count. We just counted it, and what? Okay, but perhaps perhaps I should double count, simply not yeah, because I don't know, perhaps you should double count, double check. Warsong, Patron, Frozen, Ghoul. Yeah, Warsong, Patron, Frozen, Ghoul. So these are 4 minions on the board plus Armor Smith, so these are 5 minions on the board. We attack with a weapon. We go with a weapon. We go face. So this means it's a whirlwind for 6. So this is like 6, and a second patron will spawn. Okay, what we gonna do now is we play a second whirlwind, and the second whirlwind will so one whirlwind came from the weapon, one whirlwind comes from our hand, and the second whirlwind inflicts another 7, because we now have like 2 patrons. So the second whirlwind actually inflicts 7, which means it's 13, and then we will attack with a ghoul. So that's like 14, 15, 14, 15, explosion again for 7, so that's 22, berserk 24, weapon 28, patrons, I think we got 5 possible attack patrons, right? So that's 43 damage. If I miscounted with the patrons, perhaps it's 40, but I think it's 43. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, sometimes it can be difficult though. I guess in this case, I think it was like the turn before, because I think Thijs didn't take the time to calculate the lethal last turn in advance. Oh well, actually he used his time, right? Yeah, so then sometimes you can just not do anything about it. Like sometimes you just don't have enough time to calculate and consider everything. So I still think, like, I mean, what he's doing is like, now he goes for the safe line. So what he actually says, okay, here my opponent didn't have Thorison, so I will be able to draw like more cards, which will enable me the lethal. I will have 1 more mana next turn. So all this being considered, as soon my opponent plays anything on the board, I can actually inflict a safe lethal, and that's actually something which is positive EV. Yeah, it has positive expectation value. I mean, if you are not extremely sure that it's lethal, yeah, you should not go for it in Thijs' situation, because I mean, Thijs has a situation. I mean, he locked the game up here. So why the heck should he risk anything? He can simply also play it a little bit slower, simply leaving him the next turn, like basically any turn to come. Yeah. The only thing he has to take care of, like if Thorison comes down, then he should go for it. But as long as there's no Thorison, it really doesn't make too much of a difference. It has been a while that I took a look at the chat, right? So let's take a look at the chat first. Mm. 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 And Thijs was also scared he couldn't finish the turn anymore since he already wasted half a minute. I can assure you, Thijs, you would have definitely not be able to finish your turn because you had like a Warsong, you had like a patron interaction. So patron interactions are really usually slow. And you had the Armor Smith interaction too. So the truth is, I mean, it would have been also enough if you would have sent the Armor Smith first into the Warsong. But this is also something you would have needed to do. Because like after you spend half the turn, like thinking about whether it's lethal or not, after half the turn there's not the possibility to do it with the Armor Smith. So then you would have simply needed to sacrifice the Armor Smith first in order that the animations are enough. Yeah. But again, after spending half of your turn for that, probably the safer option is simply to armor up and pass. Yeah, but as a matter of fact, you should have probably calculated the turn before whether like how much damage potential you got. Yeah, and it's also true. Yeah, I think 43 damage, and it's also true that the patron actually you wouldn't have needed the patrons because the Warsong were the like yeah. I mean, like you can miss like four patrons attacks. Like then it's still enough. But I definitely. I mean, as I said, like I don't mind like simply armoring up and doing something else if you're like yeah. After half of your turn you're still not sure whether you have lethal. I definitely concur that you should simply like armor up and go to the next turn. Yeah. So yeah, I mean there's no way that he can lethal you next turn, so it's yeah. I guess the only thing you're a little bit afraid of is like Harrison, right? I mean, a little bit afraid. I mean, it's you should usually still simply be able to ship the game, but Harrison could have resulted in a small problem, but also not, well, not too much. Okay. Yep. But now it's Mr. Obvious. So yeah, now you actually deal 60 damage? Yeah, I don't know. No. With one Berserk it's not 60 damage, but a lot. Like, if it was 43 beforehand, now it's like... Yeah, perhaps it's 60. Perhaps it's 60 damage, yeah. Okay, nicely played, Thijs. Nicely played. So that's good. Yeah, also you have to say it was the very last game and you just had the big series. Like if you have a big series, you're tired. Yeah. Ah, this turn is gonna be fun and I just clicked it away. Oh, sorry about it. Yeah. Okay. There was nothing, right? You simply... Oh, okay, you want... Oh, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, for me, the lethal doesn't matter, but... okay, guys, sorry about that. I bring it back. Verdammt. Okay. I bring it back, guys. no worries. You may see the lethal. Yeah, I find it like lethal. I mean, but yeah, whatever. For you guys, you see, I'm so nice to you. So where is it? Hi guys, really. Did you see it? You can also. Yeah, we just start in the middle of the turn. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that should be enough. Oh, but it's interesting, right? The rope is burning. Look at that. Yeah, okay. Meinetwegen. Here. Maybe we can take a look at the whole turn. So when does it start the turn? 3 to 1. After 3 seconds, the turn starts. Unstable ghoul. Nice. Bourbon first. Yeah. Yeah. And that was a short turn indeed. Look at that. It's already beginning to count already. Strange. I wonder whether you're ever panicking and play like 4 whirlwinds. I know nowadays you only play 1 ghoul, so 4 whirlwinds usually like won't be possible. Yeah, like there is no way that you would need ghoul, double whirlwind and weapon to deal 4 whirlwinds. Yeah, but I really wonder how many patron players actually already like went with a 4, like with a quad whirlwind play. Sick guys, sick. I'm taking a look at the chat. Not criticizing the place, the casters, did they? I also saw like a different thing. So like in the first match they were like full of praise, and then at some point they weren't. Whatever. I mean, casters. I mean, you should judge, not me. Okay. What now? What did I have in mind? We did the weekly recap. This is something we did, so what? Ask me anything. We also did that, I guess. A little bit, at least. So, what else? Yeah, we made the review of Ty's place, of our place. We concluded against Freeze Mage, yeah, that was actually meh. And then there was something about the Inspire mechanic. So tell me about that. Like, when does this come out? Does it come out like 1st of August or what? Like, does it come out in 4 days? The whole expansion? Somewhere in August, so it's not the first. Yeah, first. 8th to 10th. 10th to 15th. Okay, what is with the game? Trump on Archon Team League 124. What was with that? Okay, now this is the third guy asking, so I just take a look at that. I really like... What is... This videos or what? And then... Like that? What is this? HTC recharge? Well, what was the tournament? On Archon Team League. Here or what?
Welcome,
what do you say?
to
124.
Today I am here with Zelay and Gar, and of course I am looking
here or what? No.
Very interesting.
Huh?
So this is the warrior match of the entire, or at least the most.
Is this stuff like?
Kill you, because the later you play it, the more time you have to get a discount on something like Whirlwind.
Yeah, what?
LifeCoach is giving the viewers enough time to place your bets on what's his play here.
Was it that
I'm
one?
not gonna bet on that play ever.
Yeah, I mean, I commented on that last week, right? So just preparing the lethal, and then again, like being able to spot the lethal because we missed the lethal against Savage the turn before or the day before. So like that was what we actually missed, like the against Savage, that we can actually simply play these, and because of the whirlwind, like because of these effects, we actually get enough armor that you can then actually utilize the death bite, and then let's review new cards, guys. Let's review new cards. But you get the point, right? So actually by whirlwinding we get our health high enough that we can actually hit with a weapon, and if we hit with a weapon, we overkill him by 10 anyways. So that was not even anywhere close, right? Okay. Do you have like a web page where I can actually take a look at them? What? Reddit detectives 11s. So perhaps we should take a review later, or are there a lot of cards already out there? What Smack should I watch the LifeCoach prediction of GVSG, and I was right about Dr. Boom. Yeah, and I was also right about the Hungry Dragon, guys. The Hungry Dragon. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you would have like if you take a look at the Hungry Dragon, OP Hungry Dragon. Yeah, rubbish, guys, rubbish. He is okay. Trash. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Tell me, Hearthstone. What? Oh, Ty saying thanks for the heavy. Yeah. Welcome. Definitely. Like, you can do this like for one of my matches then. Like, so yeah, I would really like that in the other direction too. Yeah, here, what? What is this? Ah, ooh. Okay. Skycap Crack. I just make a short one, yeah. So don't take this like written into stone. So I just take a short look at the cards and then check out what's happening. So is charge or is it like something different? If charge is charge, then probably this guy is So 4/3 4 mana, 4/3 charge is standard, 5 mana 4/6 charge. There's nothing like 4/6 charge, but I'm just saying. Or would 5 mana 4/6 charge already be quite good? I guess it would be good, yeah, of course. But not insane. Yeah, I mean it would be good, yeah. But not... Yeah, it would be great, yeah. But 5 mana 4/5 charge... Wait, 6 mana 4/6 charge would not be good. So much we can say. And 4 mana 4/3 charge, as we know... So 4 mana 4/3 charge is break even. 5 mana 4/5 charge perhaps? I don't know. 4/6 charges, so for 5 mana 4/6 charge would be cool, and 1 less for each friendly pirate. I mean, how many friendly pirates do you expect to have on your board? I mean, if there are no other pirates to come to, this is not good. Depending on the other pirates, we can take a look. I should simply open everything. Yeah, okay, I simply open everything and then we go bam, 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 bam. How many are these, please? Ooh, what? Sick. Okay. Wilfred Fizzlebank. Is this Warlock or what is this class card? Or is it Warlock class card? Cards you draw from your hero power cost 0. It's a Warlock class card, isn't it? Is it? Ah, here you see it. Yeah. I don't know. What standard? 3 mana for a standard. Yeah. So you pay 3 more. But for that, I will also only survive 1 turn. On average, your cards are worth like or cost 5 mana, 4 mana probably. So even if you play him and even if you draw 1 card through your hero ability, even then it's not insane. Okay, you can play whatever you got right away, right? Perhaps he survives, but unlikely. He is slow as crap. You can never play him. It's like a 8 mana, right? It's 8 mana. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I would always also check shortly so that I don't overlook something. I mean, of course, sometimes I can overlook and then. Yeah, it's so-so, I would also say. Who knows? Who knows? Depending on the other cards, which you can actually combo your hero power with. I think it really depends on that. What the fuck is that? Justica Trueheart. He's looking like as he got a rocket in his hand. Replace your starting hero ability with a better one, yeah. Oh, wood? This is funny. Yeah, okay, Ballista Shot is not really appealing. The Shapeshift is appealing, the Ballista Shot not so. I mean, the Ballista Shot is simply making your hero ability 50% better, whereas this is making it twice as good. Twice as good. Twice as good. Twice as good. Summon totem of your choice. Yeah, but that's not twice as good, guys. So much I can tell. You would always like to have like 2 totems instead of 1 of your choice. That's not soul tap, draw a card. Yeah, as the life tap would matter, like as the life loss would matter. Yeah. And it's only basic totems. Yeah, I just wanted to say it's only basic totems. All right. Yeah, then it's not that great. So, yeah, what 6-3? How good is it if you can actually increase your hero power? It's 1 mana. You gain 1 mana by it, and 6-3 is worth 3 mana. So you actually overpay by 3. So you want to use your hero ability at least 4 times, so that it makes any sense to play this minion at least 4 times, rather more. So I guess not in this, not with Hunter, Fatigue Mage, but probably not. Not here. I can see this being played in, yeah. The only like decks where it makes sense is Priest versus Priest. Where Priest, you probably usually use your heal ability more than 4 times, but especially probably Warrior, right? Because you can actually delay. You can delay 4 times. You can use your hero ability at least 4 times. Probably you will use it, I don't know, 8 times, 10 times against specific decks. So I can see him being played in Warrior, but not in anything else. So what is it? What, the new expansion crippled down Patron Warriors? Why should it? Did I miss something? What? I should check to see who it is. Yeah. Huh? So what you're actually saying is, what you're actually saying is I should unmod V Nereus or whatever, yeah? Yeah, I can probably do this. So, what file epsilon Nereus? Yeah, okay. And what you're saying is now I need to what? Now I need to unban all people. Whoop. Guys, you kidding me? Oh, nee, oder? I do this after the stream. I unban you like the guys who just got banned, but not now. I write it in just a second. So yeah, all the people. Okay. Where are we? Okay, so let's go and continue. In Warrior, perhaps you will see her, him. Okay. Random spell with Inspire. I don't know. Random spell worth how much? 1.5 mana, perhaps. So 4.5 is worth, 1.5 is 6. So As a standalone drop, he sucks, and if you want to combine him, then you need at least to hit turn 7, but then you also are forced to play hero ability what you don't like. Okay, probably bad unless you build a deck with him. So what I'm saying is, if you have a random deck and you want to put him in, it's not a good idea, for sure. Like, he's, as a standalone, he's bad, without any synergy. And yeah, with synergy I don't have like any idea. I don't know the other cards, so if you happen to get enough synergy for him, he could be good. Yeah? Okay. First giant. Cost 1 less for each time you used your hero power this game. I don't think it's especially good. At least it doesn't look good. 6 mana it is standard, so you need to use the hero ability 4 times before. Nah, cannot be that great. Called Dora Drake. You can use the hero power any number of times. There's some maiden which actually reduces it by 1 or something. Is there something? Now I'm clicking. I should have taken the full page. No, you can make it cost exactly 1, yeah. Any number of times. The thing is, hero power itself sucks, so usually, so you don't want to use hero ability at all. If it costs 1 mana, I mean, it's still not OP, but it's still standard strong. So even if you play Coldora Drake, like if you play that as standalone, it's probably not strong enough. If you play in turn 6, I mean, it's still a 6/6 which actually has. It doesn't even have taunt. Then there are dragon decks, right? So it's very nice that they made a better dragon. Again, like as a standalone, it's definitely bad. Like if you don't use it with any synergetic effects, like with the Maiden of the Sea, for example, it's definitely bad. 6 mana, 6/6, which gives you a lot of hero abilities. You don't want a lot of hero abilities. Hero ability in average, hero ability is actually a drawback. You don't want to use your hero ability. So yeah, basically that. Yeah, so it's not a good advantage. As a standalone, it's definitely bad. And in a dragon deck, 6 mana, 6/6 dragon. Well, I mean, I could think of something better. And again, perhaps you can build synergetic decks around him. If not, not good. So. All unbanned. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much, Shuri. Yeah. Yeah. How is he still? What? Didn't we unmod him? What? Huh? Oh, we can simply ban him, I guess. Okay. So, so what's that? Okay. So next card. Again, like perhaps there will be synergetic effects. Okay. 6 mana 3/5 Super Kodo, 8 mana 2 3/5s. Now. Yeah. I'm not too excited. So yeah, absolutely not. Poison Blade for Rogue. Rogue gets a new weapon, yes. The hero power gives this weapon +1 attack instead of replacing it. Yeah. Okay. So for 5 mana you get 3/4. And now, let's say for 4 mana you will get 3/3, but that's probably worse than for 3/4, right? But okay, let's say for the sake of argument, for 4 mana you get a 3/3. You would need to hero power twice to what? And that can only be bad, right? I mean, like, this simply sucks, I guess. Take a look. So, yeah, it's super bad. Yeah, it's a super bad card, yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. I thought I misread the card, but no. Okay, each time you cast a spell, add a random hunter card to your hand. A random hunter card. Okay, here's the thing. For 2 mana and a card, we would like to draw 2 cards. At least. Yeah, 2 cards. 2 cards is okay. Yeah. Yeah, Arcane Intellect sucks. We really want to have 2 cards. But random cards, I would probably want to have 3 cards for that. Like 2 cards and a genuine card. What? It's like 3.5. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps we really want to have 3. Yeah, 3 cards would be good, right? And especially as late in the game, we probably want 3 cards. So we would need to play 3 spells. That's nonsense, right? Probably it's not good enough. We would need to play suboptimal spells to make it work. Garrison Commander, yeah. The same what actually went for the Drake for 6 mana goes for the Garrison Commander. I mean, not exactly, right? It's like the Drake 6 mana 6/6 is worse than 2 mana 2/3. So 2 mana 2/3 is better stats, has better stats than 6 mana 6/6. Okay, with the Drake you can use your hero ability unlimited times, but with the Garrison Commander you can actually use it twice. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I would, as a standalone, horrible. As a standalone, it's bad as the Drake, but perhaps you can build like combos energetic around it. Yeah, the Border Spiders sucks. Yeah, that's simply bad. Yeah, simply not a good card. Thunder Bluff Valiant. I mean, the only reason why 1 Web Spinner is okay because you can actually buff it with Houndmaster. If it wouldn't be for the Houndmaster, Web Spinner would be simply bad. Yeah, but yeah, but 3 Web Spinners. Okay, Thunder Bluff Valiant, or whatever you call him. Give your totems +2 attack. Shaman, yeah. So 5 mana 6/6, let's say, and this is 3 less attack, but if you only use Inspire once, all your totems will grow. And if you have, let's say, 2 totems, it's already, I don't see it. Well, actually, it's not, you will sometimes really have, let's say, 3, 4 totems, like sometimes you will have 3 totems on the board, and they simply don't have attack. And if you actually Thunder Buff, how does it work? You first get the totem and then you get the attack, right? So, if you get 2 totems which actually get the buff, it's already okay-ish. So 1 on the board, which you usually always have, then it's not that bad, but it's also not good at all. If you already have 2 on the board, it gets... But still, I mean, it's not a 5 mana card, right? So 5 mana, it's really, really bad if you play it for 5 mana. Unless it's an empty board, perhaps you cannot remove it, and so on and so on. And then sometimes your other totems can actually receive an Inspire. So for 2 mana you get 2 2s, but even that is not that great. So only turn 7 if you already got like 2 or 3 totems on the board. It seems to be pretty situational. On the other hand, again, like perhaps you can play as a standalone, it's not good. With Inspire, like with a combo deck, I don't know. Draenei Totem Carver, I like actually. Like, you gain +1/+1 for each friendly totem, so 4 mana 5/5 should be standard. So if you have 1 friendly totem, it is standard strong. Well, actually a little bit better than standard, yeah. So if you have 1 totem, yeah, it should be possible to have 1 totem, right? Now by turn 4 I don't know exactly about it. But on the other hand, if you have 2 totems, it's 6/6. Actually it's like this, right? I mean, in the worst case, it's 4 mana 4/4, which is, yeah, not that good, but that's the worst case. And very often it will be 5/5, which is then quite reasonable, and sometimes it will even be 6/6. In the late game, perhaps even 7/7, but probably you only want him to be 6/6. So I see him reasonably. It's basically the same as like what I said about the other minion for 4 mana, about this what's it called? Yeah, the new shaman minion for 4 mana, like with overload. It's good but not great, and the same goes for this minion. It's good but not great. Yeah, you definitely play it, but it's not super. It's not like that the shaman gets the boost he needs. So yeah. Yeah, I also don't think like it's great, definitely not. But I think it will definitely be playable, right? I mean, strictly worse than Quartermaster. Yeah, but on the other hand, Quartermaster is also pretty good, right? What standard for mana should be 4/5 Yetis? No, nobody plays Yetis. And the reason for that is because it's not standard. Only because there exists a card which is 4 mana 4/5 doesn't mean it's standard. Yeah. So if I just think about it, like there are also cards which have like 8 mana 8/8 taunt, or cards like, what is with the Divine Shield? Is it like 9 mana or whatever? I don't even know what that is, like with the 8/8 Divine Shield. That's not standard, guys. Cards which are not being played are not standard. Yeah. Cards which are being played are standard. The worst cards which are being played are standard. Yeah. Shredder, for example. Shredder is standard. What is a Shredder? 3.56? I guess. So 3.56 would be standard for mana drop. Yeah. It's not easy to compare. Totemic Might, yeah. I would love, I mean, I already tried. Yeah, I already tried like Shamanic Might or like Totemic Might beforehand. Would be really cool if you would see this being viable at some point. But it's not a good card yet, and I really doubt it will get a good card, but who knows, perhaps. Yeah, if Fiji, when a random minion dies, summon a random minion with the same cost. And same cost is usually 1 verse. So if you Fijis, and it's also depend like situational. So if you Fijis at 4 mana, then it's standard, but also completely reactive. So you would need to Fiji 5 mana minions. And the thing is, he will always target the small minions anyways, because he will already be afraid of duplicate. I cannot see this card being very good. King's Defender. Warrior. Another weapon for Warrior. Yes, really? I mean, we have so many warrior weapons now, right? We have Deathbite, we have Fury Warwicks, we have the 5/2 weapon, we have the we have the Ogre's War Maul, we have Gorehowl, but Gorehowl, of course, it's a little bit outdated. But okay, King's Defender. For every minion with taunt you control, gain +1 durability. Yeah. And which kind of taunt minions do you know in Warrior, other than unstable ghouls? And even these, like Belchers, sometimes. I mean, even if it would be a 3-3, or if it would become a 3-3 weapon, I mean, even then it would be probably only average. Average because, like, you play weapon heavy anyway, so you don't really want a 3 durability weapon mandatory. And this only if you have 1 taunt. I don't think it's good. Yeah, the handlock. Yeah, thank you very much. So what? Shredder is the best for mana drop. No, he's not. There are better class cards for mana, first of all. And second of all, I'm saying, like, this is done standard because you can always play him. But a lot of decks doesn't play him. So he's standard, right? Because he's not a must include, and a lot of decks actually don't play him. But some does, so it's exactly borderline, yeah? In some decks he makes the cut, and some he doesn't. What is with the effigy? Molten Giant Freeze Mage. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, if in any deck, then in something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying it's completely unplayable, this secret. I'm just saying, like, it should be like unplayable in standard decks, and perhaps there could be some super duper combo deck where it could make some sense, but I don't know. I think like Mirror Entity is simply better, yeah, for example. Yeah, it's true. Like, you of course take accounts that you get the mage secrets with the mad scientist, so you usually shouldn't pay the full mana cost for them. Yeah, but effigy is definitely worse than Mirror Entity, and probably, yeah, perhaps a little bit better than Counterspell, perhaps. Is it? I don't even know. I mean, it's like, what? It gives you, and Duplicate gives you 2 cards into your hand, and that effigy is giving you... No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it's... No, I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, Crane, you're right. Like, it's the best neutral one, but that's only because like all the neutral 4/1 drops actually suck. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah says, I remember calling Sky Golem bad. And yeah, I mean, do you see him being played at all? I mean, the only decks like I saw him being played, the Sky Golem, were like only the decks with absolute big synergetic effects, which was actually in Paladin because of the equality and because of Kel'Thuzad. Like, the Death Rattle absolutely perfectly cheats the equality and cheats the Kel'Thuzad effect. And I think I remember having played it also in Druid, right? Can this be? Yeah, of course it also perfectly synergizes in Druid. But then we actually decide to put him out. So yes, actually, like, what are you referring to, Sava? Like, you don't want to say that Sky Golem is great, right? Okay, so you're actually saying we were right when we said it's not that good, yeah? Okay. Yeah, okay, we need to continue. Fallen Hero. Your hero power deals 1 extra damage. For mage. What? Yes, mage, yeah. Well, probably not, because there's a card which actually does the same, which is the Steam Wheel Sniper. And the Steam Wheel Sniper actually does the same for 2 mana. Yeah, so for 2/3. So 2/3 is better than 3/2 for minions like that. And what the Fallen Hero is actually doing is after you played him, you can deal 2 damage anywhere you want. And yeah, the Steam Wheel Sniper is doing exactly the same. So I can see that perhaps with the Inspire synergetic effects, perhaps it could get stronger. But you get the comparison of this to the Steam Wheel, yeah? North Sea Kraken is what? Common and... yeah, okay. 9 mana, 9/7 and deals 4 damage. Okay, I can see that. So 9/7 is usually 7 mana as a neutral. Well, for 6 mana you would probably buy a 9/7. And this costs 3 more mana, but for that you also deal 4 damage. Yeah. It's probably good in arena, but probably not good enough. Not good enough in constructed. Main of the lake, your hero power costs 1. So 4 mana you would usually expect, yeah, whatever you would expect. 4/6, I know there is no 4/6, so 4/6 would be good, but what you actually lose is you lose 2 power, and usually you won't be able to use your hero ability right away. So as a 4-drop it sucks, and later, even if your hero power costs 1, it's not the benefit. It's really not the benefit. Like if your hero power costs 1, okay, then it costs 1, but it's, you don't even necessarily want to do that. So yeah, in a non-synergetic deck it should be bad, and like definitely be bad, and in a deck which doesn't synergize around it. And as I said, like depending on how much synergy you can actually create, and by the way, this like you could also say, hey, I always say, yeah, synergy, like if it's a lot of synergy getting created, perhaps these will be playable. What I mean with a lot of synergy means OP synergy. So only if there will be OP cards which actually incentivize utilizing your hero ability insanely, only then you will be able to build a deck around them. So as like from the cards we saw now, we saw a lot of semi-mediocre, under average cards with the Inspire effect. So simply throwing all of them into a deck doesn't work. So what will be required is some cards which actually are insanely strong for Inspire. Yeah. And then after you of course play these insanely strong cards with Inspire, suddenly you have a big incentive to also play the weaker, average weak cards with Inspire, because these will then also buff your OP Inspire mechanic. But this is all, of course, everything only speculation. So for example, here we see like, this is a priest card, or what this is? What is this? No, it's neutral, yeah? Okay. So we have a tournament medic, which is a 1/8. Instead of, I don't know, like 1/8, like what's 1/8? It reminds me a little bit on the Snapjaw. Of course this one is worse than the Snapjaw, but I mean, without the Inspirer, so the only question is like, well, what's going on with the Inspirer? You can restore heads to your hero if you hero ability. If you use the hero ability, I mean. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. In an Inspire deck, probably. Second Warrior. Ooh! Ooh! Yeah. Well, is he good? 1, 2, 4, 5. He's not right. I guess. Even if he's like getting like 2 times buffed, then suddenly he's even BGHable. I cannot see this being good. I didn't take a look at the chat, so doing this. Let's see. I just go through them very quickly. Right, it's a super anti-aggro, right? It's for 4 mana, yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah, but kind of anti-aggro, isn't it? 4 mana, 1/8. Can remove all this small stuff. I mean, it's actually super anti-face under this card, right? Oh yeah, I skipped it. But 4 mana, 1/8, actually, like, whenever you use hero ability, you get life. I mean, that's like very good against Hunter. Against any kind of face deck. It's super strong. I'm not even sure whether it's a better Light Warden, that's my problem. Tusker Totemic, let's see. 3 mana, 3/2, summon any random totem. Tusker Totemic. Why is he called Tusker Totemic? But okay. Yeah, standard for 4 would be very good. Would be very good. So he is. So what do you pay? You overpay him by 1.5 mana or something, right? You overpay him by 1.5 mana, and for that you get a random totem. How strong are the basic totems? The basic totems are probably worth 1.5 mana. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess the random totem should be worth 1.5 mana. Don't tell me that you need 2 mana to create them. It's like it's a hero ability, right? So it's probably that. But then there are also other totems, right? So there are four basic totems. Is right? 4 or 5? No, there are 4, right? The 1/1 spell power, taunt, and heal. I hope I didn't forget about it. But okay, and then these are the 4 basic totems, and then it can summon you a flame tongue, which would be insane. Right, it's super good. Right? It's flame tongue is 3 mana. It's super good. Mana Tide, insane. Yeah, that would be so great. And then there's also the new totem, right? This 3/4 totem, or is it 2/3? I don't know, but it's even no 3/4, right? So these totems are simply like, well, actually these are already 3 super totems, right? So Tusker Totemic is super cool. Yeah, it's insane. Like you always play it twice if you play Shaman, right? You always play it twice. It's super good. The Inner Rage super heal. Yeah, I don't think the Inner Rage priest is that strong. What is that if you already have all your normal totems, then the summon totem had a higher chance of being a special totem? Is it correct that you cannot get like the same totem again? Or can you simply get the same totem again? Sylvan Regent. 4 Minion 4? Huh? Well, it's a neutral, but you get Silverhand Recruit, so yeah. Inspire summon a 1/1 Silverhand Recruit. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. Yeah, you don't really want to use your hero ability, that's the point. So yeah. Totem Golem. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, super cool, of course, I don't have to tell you that, right? 2 mana, 1 overload, 3/4 is already standard, I would say. Yeah, standard good, yeah. It's good against Patron. No, but seriously, it's simply solid even without being a totem. And then he also got overload, which you can then use for unbound elementals perhaps. And it's also a totem, so really cool. Lowly Squire, yeah, bad. Okay, so yeah, we finished the review. So what is it? Yeah, it's super good. Yeah. Also the restore for health totem. Yeah, even that would be good. So there is actually really 50% chance. What? 50% chance to get an average 3-drop, right? And 50% chance to get a 4-drop. Yeah, better than 4-drop Niria. It's better than 4-drop. Like, if you get a Flame Tongue, it's a little bit better. If you get a Mana Tide, it's like a 5-drop. If you get, or even better, if you get the Healing Totem, it's a 4-drop. Yeah, you get the point, right? So it's like, Curse even a little bit better. But yeah, it's mega strong. Yeah. You can get the same ones, yeah. Paddington 2 with an overload is mere. Yeah, but it's a totem. It's a totem and it has overload. So with standard stats, like it's not, as I said, like the stats are standard, like, but perhaps there could be some use. Three mana, 2/5 Inspire bounces itself. Huh? What's that? Yeah, shouldn't be good. Yeah, okay guys, I finish my review here. Yeah, I think it sounds good. So yeah, also no new review before like a lot of other cards are released. Don't want to do this too often. I hope you enjoyed everything. I mean, we did a lot, right? I mean, if you just take a short look at what we streamed, oh my god, we've been streaming what? 4 hours. Oh, how can that be? Okay, but okay, long stream today. Yeah, we also didn't like play completely focused. So like, if you always do it like this, of course we can just stream through, because if it's not absolutely demanding from a focus point of view, there is like no problem in also streaming longer. But yeah, we did a lot. We reviewed everything. We reviewed like the leagues. We reviewed this Gamescon or like WCA or whatever this is called. We reviewed Thais games, which was nice. Weekly recap, AMA, review of the new cards. Yeah, perfectly productive, guys. I thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, we see each other probably tomorrow. Yeah, have a very nice one, guys. Bye.